What's up?
What's up?
I would check the news, but I was too busy putting spots together, so I didn't get a chance.
It's okay.
It's okay, she said. No, it's actually not.
Today is the first day that weed's legal.
Today is a day, exactly. So I still don't understand. They talk about you can have up to 2 pounds, but that's the raw weed. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah,
I
and like
suppose.
4 plants, only 2 blooming at the same time. I mean, it's definitely, you gotta
What?
know. Yeah, there's a lot of like very specific rules, but
So they're saying that they think that people are going to grow their own?
yeah, I think people are. It's
Some, but I mean, what's the percent? I would never grow weed. Who gives a rat's
yeah,
ass?
but you and I aren't exactly like green thumb.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, like I have a basil plant that somebody gave me as a present, and I'm waiting for that. I don't even know when it's like time for that to be done.
I couldn't agree more. So basically, well, I've been on medical marijuana now for about 4 or 5 years, something like that. I think it's about right. I think 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
But there was a kind of a quick transition. There's a place called Natrium, which is down on Excelsior Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I went in there. I think his name is Charlie. Nice guy. Oh, now my computer won't work. What a great place to work. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
It's okay. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I produce the show. Thanks.
Will anything change for you, Rudy? Like, is that going to be anything you're excited about?
No, not really a weed guy. I like to take a gummy at night before I go to bed, but to actually sit down and smoke weed, no, that's
like drink it or
no,
eat
that's
it? No.
that's what children do. Children smoke weed. It's
Children smoke weed.
it's just such a, I don't know. Whenever I feel like I see people with like a 420 shirt on and you're in your 40s, I'm like, what are you doing?
I know.
Why? This is what children do. No, just have a whiskey, have some beer, call it a day. Don't get too over medicated, but.
Yeah.
Listen, I get that it's got medicinal purposes. It's fantastic. You should have some every now and again. If it helps you with the glaucoma or whatever, that's great. But if you have absolutely no problems in your life, you have nothing medical about it, and all you do is just go fishing and smoke weed all day, I'm like, you got to find something else to do, man.
I'll say this. So, like, me and Justin were, like, playing with the idea of, hey, is this, like, our thing now? Because we don't drink. Mm-hmm. It's like, we'll bring this to parties. And then one day we both, like, I think, we just like sat down and like, I don't think this is gonna be our thing.
No.
It's just not a party vibe for me. Like it's not a social thing for me. Mm-hmm. That's me. Like I feel like I'll never be somebody who's like good with marijuana. Like I can play around with it here and there and like watch a movie with Justin with it maybe, but I don't think I want to go to a party high.
Well, I mean, I'm really not wild about the idea that they're talking to young people about smoking weed. Don't encourage people to smoke.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't understand why they would talk about, hey, you can have 2 pounds and you can smoke weed starting Tuesday. Why?
Yeah.
It's just as bad for you. People try to claim it's not as bad for you as cigarettes. It's in some cases worse.
I think anytime you have to imagine your lungs as just pristine. And anytime you're putting like any sort of particulate or pieces into your lungs, you have to think of that as a problem.
So is this going to affect you guys in any way, shape, or form? I imagine the pharmaceutical ones are going to switch over and become just retail, I would guess, because they're not going to be able to compete.
Yeah. And it's not like insurance doesn't cover any of it, right? Like the medical side. So then what's the difference? Yeah, I think that'll probably be happening is you don't have to go to a doctor and get the prescription.
So it'll be available, in pill form, tablet form, all that stuff. Well, I mean, it already is at 5 milligram levels, up to 10 milligrams, something like that.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. But one thing that was kind of nice, because I was not sleeping. I fell asleep right away last night, but then I woke at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I went over and grabbed one of those 5 milligrams from Natrium, put me right back to sleep. I slept really well. So that's the kind of way I use it. 5 milligrams is, it's not that big a deal at all.
See, like, I feel like I'm in a 1 milligram kind of world.
Well, maybe.
I'm not going to, but I do like those, like the Crested River ones that Sean brought in. Yeah. And then the little mini sodas were fun to split with people.
Get it, mini soda?
Yeah, mini soda.
No, I don't. I mean, I did smoke weed when I was a kid, but I still smoked cigarettes when I was a kid from 11 to 21 years old. Don't smoke weed. It's not good for you to smoke weed. Do the tablets, do the capsules, do whatever. And then you move forward from there, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. 4 things to look forward to in August, because today is August 1st, obviously. New month. Here are a few things to look forward to in August on TV. The 3rd and final season of Physical hits Apple Plus tomorrow. What is that? Do you know what that is?
No.
I don't know what Physical is. Season 2 of Winning Time, The Rise of Lakers Dynasty, hits HBO this Sunday. Season 3 of Only Murders in the Building. You guys love that, don't you?
Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good.
Yeah, that's what I understand. I saw the first season of it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great.
Yeah, it got boring.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It got boring. And I like everybody in it. That's the problem. Is everybody in it, I think, is terrific, but it did get kind of boring, and I don't know why that would happen. But now this is the 3rd season, correct?
Yes, this will be the 3rd season, yeah.
So was the 2nd season any better?
Never even got to the 2nd season.
I
The
didn't
first
either.
one was so boring, I decided to not pick it up anymore.
So we agree on that. That's true.
And I never watched the 2nd season, so I guess it must say something. But I want to.
Good people. I mean, Jesus, you couldn't ask for better people on the show. I don't understand the reference to Only Murders in the Building, first of all. I don't get that. What does that mean?
It's kind of like a I would describe it as like a murder mystery, kind with a big
Yeah.
dose of comedy.
Right. But not a big dose of comedy.
Well,
A big dose of attempted comedy.
there you go.
That's the ticket. The final season of Billions lands on the 13th. So all those shows together, like Succession and Billions, and what was the big one again? The one that everybody loved? Had a
Only
one-word
Murders in the
title.
Building.
No, I'm talking about Billions now. It's a one-word title. It's Succession, it's Billions, and it's...
Succession was huge. That's
Yeah, that
the
was big.
HBO one.
Yeah, that was big, absolutely.
And then they were talking about Suits coming back. That's what we were talking about yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh boy, it's been around for so long. I've never seen it. I'm so scared that what if I do like it and have to watch like 100 seasons of something?
Yeah, I have no interest in her or anything she does. Her own father hates her. What does that tell you?
Oh God.
Although, I know some other fathers.
Right?
So. Get over it. Toughen up, for Christ's sake. It says the final season of Billions lands on the 13th. The latest Star Wars spin-off, Star Wars Ahsoka. Is that how you say that?
No idea.
Ahsoka. I think it's Ahsoka.
Oh, this is with Rosario Dawson.
Oh, okay. And what's the take on it?
She plays, I don't know, she plays like one of the last Jedi. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's some sort of spin-off. We're getting so much of this stuff now. I think Star Wars is going to go down the route of what Marvel is.
Good.
Where we got so much of it, people are just going to be, it's too saturated. I mean, we had the first 3 Star Wars movies and then nothing for 20 years.
Right.
And that felt like a good run. It made you want it more, you know?
Is this like a Disney spinoff?
At Disney
Okay,
Plus, yeah, that's where
Disney
we'll be able to
Plus.
find it, yeah.
This is like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, she made her first appearance, I believe, in season 2 of The Mandalorian. And then it was such a big character, they decided to give her a spinoff.
And did you watch The Mandalorian?
I love it. Yeah, 3 seasons, and it's so good.
And it's done?
Nope, they got, I think, one more season after this.
And you'll watch that?
Yeah.
And what's that all about?
Mandalorian is, I know you don't know much about Star Wars, but remember Boba Fett? He was the guy that got thrown into the pit at Jabba's palace. I feel like I'm just speaking Greek right now,
No,
to you.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but he's like a bounty hunter, and then he hangs out with, everybody knows him as Baby Groot.
Or Baby Yoda.
Sorry, Baby Yoda, yeah.
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda.
And it's,
Really?
That's a song. It's like a really...
what is it?
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda. It was
Okay.
like a huge song in like 2020 or 2021.
All right.
So it just happens to rhyme with My Sharona, My Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
It's My Sharona you were just singing.
Well, that's my Sharona. This one's Baby Yoda.
Oh, it
Yeah.
goes up instead of down.
Baby,
okay.
baby
All right, there
Yoda.
you go. I thought the first Star Wars was good. The second one was okay. Third one was ugh. I'm not big on that whole let's go to outer space and do this. It's okay.
Oh, I loved Star Wars.
I know everybody did.
Yeah, I dig that. I can't do elves and orcans and
Yeah.
axes and take the ring to the Shire, young hobbit. It's
I
so
can.
dumb.
I can.
Ugh, no thanks.
And like Game of Thrones, I read those books like it was my job. I loved it. Love dragons. Rawr.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That does, by the way, Star Wars Ahsoka, I think is how you say it. Premieres on Disney Plus August 23rd.
Nice.
In the movie theaters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, what a shock. Another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Was about 85 of them now?
Yeah. who do we pick for the Turtles now? Are they all 4 famous people?
Now what's Meg 2 the Trench? What does anybody know what Meg 2 is?
Like the Meg, like the shark one?
Yeah, that's where this
it's a
comes from.
shark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That was a scary movie.
Strays with Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx. There's 2 reasons not to go see it.
Well, you don't like Jamie Foxx?
He's okay. Is he the one that's sick now?
Yeah,
Wow.
he just put out a video
That's too
recently,
bad.
but boy, does not look like the old Jamie Foxx.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was so weird. Nobody knows what like the big thing he got, the big sickness he
really?
got. But then all of a sudden they had him out, like the publicist had him out in public doing things to make it look like everything's okay. All of a sudden Jamie Foxx is playing pickleball in public and all these things where it was like just like they were fighting back that like I'm sick, but nobody knows what he had or what like devastating thing he all of a
Right.
sudden came down with.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Jamie Foxx, I don't know if he's funny or not, but he went through a period, I don't think he does it anymore, but he went through a period like that other idiot that's in all the commercials that has to yell everything. Who's that guy now? He's doing commercials for, I don't know, but every commercial, he talks like this the entire commercial. It's like, Jesus, will you settle down? I have never liked people who talk loud and yell.
The Menards guy.
At Menards.
At Menards.
There you go.
Save big money at Menards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just laugh it up there because first grade, everybody in my daughter's first grade class wanted to meet me because they thought my name was Tom Menard.
Oh, that
I
would've
thought I
been
was the
nice.
Menards guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You really disappointed them.
I certainly did. They were disappointed too. It was very obvious. Like that's not the guy on TV.
At
Thank you, I'm
Menards.
At Menards. Okay, so Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx are going to be in Strays as disgruntled dogs. Like I said, did I tell you the early pass quick enough? So does the new DC Comics movie Blue Beetle and Gran Turismo, which opens on the 5th. So a lot of animation as well. New NFL preseason starts. Oh God, my God! It starts 2 days from now.
What?
Is that right?
Yeah, it's usually like
Holy
what
Hannah.
do they call that thing? The Liberty game or
Oh,
the
yeah.
Freedom game or some
like
garbage like that?
You're right. It already means cold weather's coming.
Stop. It's not okay.
The NFL preseason gets started this Thursday with the Jets and the Browns on NBC. Then everybody else gets started next week. And if you're a tennis fan, the U.S. Open starts on August 28th. And finally, the holidays. This Thursday's National Grabs. Did you write this?
No, but I'm scared. What? Grab some what?
Grab some nuts day. Really? Isn't that
Justin,
clever?
Get ready. Mommy's coming home at
We're
10:30.
coming for you. Friday's International Beer Day. The 11th is Hip Hop Day. Oh boy, let me stay at home that day. I hate hip hop music so much because it replaced R&B. I've
That's just
explained it many times.
life. Just things replace things. Flowers die. Other things grow in its place.
What are you talking about?
But like hip hop, it's not like it was ready to go. I mean, hip hop was ready to rock. And there's some good hip hop. You like some?
I do.
Why not? I bet I could find some you like.
Oh, I did like, and the chicken tastes like wood. That was rap, though. That was not hip hop, was it? That was
I don't know.
different?
They kind of blend together.
Yeah, they do. It's just not. The only reason I don't listen to it a lot is because I love R&B music and it's disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part. I don't care about if people want to listen to hip hop. Good for you, but I just wish it didn't have to wipe out R&B.
Are you a jazz fan?
Are you a jazz head
Are you
man?
a jazz? Does Tommy like jazz?
Some jazz. What's his name? Gary, the xylophonist. What the hell was his name? Gary. Ah, I just popped into my head. I loved him. Anyway, he was really, really good.
And he did jazz on a xylophone?
Oh, he was phenomenal. I don't think it's called a
Gary
xylophone.
Burton.
Gary Burton. That's exactly who it is. Wonderful. I haven't heard him now in about 8,000 years. Really talented, though. If you're a tennis fan, the U.S. Open did start. We talked about that. 12th is Vinyl Record Day, which is very cool. The 13th is Left-Handers Day. I don't think, is anybody, Alex does things with both. She's some right-handed, some left-handed.
Justin's a lefty.
Is he?
Yeah. I make fun of him all the time.
The 16th is National Rum Day, and August 20th is National Radio Day.
Oh, I can't
It'll
wait.
be fascinating.
I assume we'll just all buy each other gifts.
Yeah, no question about it. You guys, I don't know if you knew about this because I had no idea it even existed. But I'm just down around last night just looking for something to watch. And there's a show on from 2009, and I never heard of it. It was called Mall Cops, Mall of America. Have you ever even heard of that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it lasted for like 3 episodes.
Oh, is that all?
Well, the first episode is the security at Mall of America
Yes.
trying to return a woman's lost purse. So
Riveting.
It's very, very exciting stuff. But I was walking into the Mall of America. I don't know if you guys have been there recently, and I don't want to talk shit about the mall, but man, it is there. I took some video, and there was a kid who was like, not ODing, but he was tweaking hard, and he was in one of the stairwells at the mall. And I sent video to my daughter, and I said, please don't ever do drugs. Just please. The kid was scratching himself and screaming at security.
Sure.
And that's what the mall has really become. Like parts of it. I love the mall.
Yeah.
Growing up there and working at it for years, I've loved the mall. And there's still going there in the holiday season when all the lights are out. It's beautiful. But there's parts of that mall right now that, man, they got to start cleaning out some of these areas because it's getting hard.
I was just there for Nordstrom anniversary sale about 3 weeks ago. And it wasn't bad, but I was there at like 10 a.m. or like 11 a.m. or whatever. And it wasn't, it felt mall-esque, which I liked. I miss when it feels like there's something going on. But a lot of times it doesn't feel that way.
Well, the biggest issue they have is every store that's there right now, there's 5 rag stocks.
I know.
It's like you can just get, everything that's there, you can just get at Southdale or Ridgedale or any other mall on the planet. Back in the day, like there were specific stores that's why Lego is still like such a mainstay at the Mall of America.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's all the same problem, whether it's in the downtown streets of Minneapolis and St. Paul or it's at the Mall of America. We have to enforce the law, and our politicians won't let us enforce the law anymore. So that's what's going on here, all this crime and murder and, Mall of America being jammed full of pains in the ass. That's because they can't be bothered. Just leave them alone. I don't understand why you allow such behavior, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Did you see when Cardi B chucked that microphone?
Well, a woman threw something at her first.
Yeah,
right?
which I thought you'd love. This woman threw her drink at Cardi B, and she just chucked her microphone.
Good.
And I thought you'd love that. I was like, we haven't talked about that.
No, when did it happen? A couple days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand this thing now where you think it's okay to throw things at defenseless people.
Yeah, somebody performing.
I don't get
to
it.
throw a drink at them, and she just chucked her microphone at this lady. It was pretty insane.
So where did that come from, the idea to do that?
I don't know. They want to feel like they're a part of something. They want to feel emboldened. Do we feel so disconnected from the world that like we want to make a memory? I'm not sure.
By hurting people.
I'm just postulating. I have no idea.
Oh, she's postulating.
The idea of chucking my drink at somebody who's performing to me, I can't even. I don't even want them to make eye contact with me. Like it's too much. I go So it's like the idea of me doing something that would affect their show sounds terrible.
Because they're throwing like cell phones, drinks. They're throwing all kinds of things at.
Yeah, I think there was only one cell phone. Somebody did that, and then somebody like reached out to slap somebody, and then now this drink. And maybe it happens all the time. We're just catching it.
What do you mean? They went up on stage and slapped them?
Yeah, they like tried to slap. I can't remember which
Jesus.
artist. They either tried to slap them or reach out. They're not sure.
So Cardi B fought back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty fly. I was trying to find the video. It's like insane.
Yeah.
It's
No, I saw
just-
the video this morning.
Really? It was like so impressive. It's like she practices that
Yeah,
in
good.
her spare time. It's like throwing axes, but a microphone.
This is going to continue until people are allowed to kick other people's asses again. It's never going to stop. If there's no law, there's no order, it's only going to get worse, not better.
Yeah.
Are our politicians that stupid? I mean, seriously, it's insane what they allow people to do now.
Yeah.
Walk into stores and grab arms full of... One shop I see, I can't remember what city it was in, lost $700,000 of inventory last year.
Dang.
Now, can you claim insurance on that? Because it's still stolen, whether if you can't stop them or not.
I think it depends what your insurance you have. I think that always like, are you protected against this? Are you protected against that? I'm sure there's some. I'm sure most places have insurance against theft because you can't stop them.
Why can't you stop them?
Physically?
Yeah.
If you're a worker there,
Yeah.
Why would you do that? To get stabbed?
Well, a guy would do that because I'd like to keep my job, because if we don't have any inventory, I'm going to get fired.
Yeah, I just don't, in this world, I mean, I don't know the last time you worked a retail store. I've worked a retail store within the last 10 years, and I wouldn't stop somebody who did that.
Yeah, but M&Ms are different than 17 blouses.
This is true.
Okay, don't try to pull that one over.
No, I worked at a shoe store.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, people don't steal shoes, do they?
People steal, but they'd have all these things there. Like, they had a bunch of Smartwool socks. People would steal Smartwool socks all the time. And this guy was stealing a Smartwool jacket, and the only thing you can do is, hey, put that down. But I'm not going to get in the way. I'm not going to,
But don't
bleed
they
out.
are they going to have to get... Look, if you're losing $700,000 a year in inventory, you better hire some security to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Listen, you and I talked about this. The thing you got to do, I guess, which sucks, is you got to do, hey, you have by appointment only.
Yeah, probably.
You want to shop, and then I don't know how many people are going to make appointments to go try on clothes.
Because you and I have to pay the price for some dumbass thief.
Oh, always.
It's just unbelievable. How we got here, I'll never... Well, weak leadership. That's how we got here.
Weak leadership.
That's true. We got to take a break here. My God, things are moving quickly. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary, with over 80 million MyPillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king-size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact level, individual needs. You know what I'm talking about. To help you get the best sleep ever, go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM, T-O-M. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products, such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase, go fly a kite, to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
7:26 now, 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. It is mostly cloudy and 65 degrees right now, but it'll be a little warmer later on today. We'll do some weather in a bit. Paul Ruebens, best known for playing Pee Wee Herman, has died at the age of only 70. Reubens' rep confirmed his death in a statement to People on Monday, revealing that the actor had cancer for 6 years before he died. Last night, we said farewell to Paul Ruebens, an iconic American actor, comedian, writer, and producer whose beloved character, Pee Wee Herman, delighted generations of children and adults with his positivity, whimsy, and belief in the importance of kindness. Well, let's bring him back. How's the kindness working in the world right now?
That'd be nice.
Huh? I got a chance to interview him on the phone one time. I never
Did
met him.
you?
Yeah, I did, actually.
How
But he was in
was
character
it?
the whole time.
Was he?
Yes.
That's kind of cute.
So it was very, very cute. I never got to meet him in person, but other than beating off in a theater, he did pretty well.
Yeah, but you know what? This is pre-internet. He was at a adult, like, entertainment theater. What are you supposed to do there?
You're not going to whip out your schwanz in public.
I mean, I feel like it's weird to go to it and not.
Yeah, that's why those theaters existed.
Yeah.
I've never heard of another one doing it. Have you? I've never heard of another guy whipping it. An actor, I mean, I'm sure some people do.
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do there.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
What are you going to watch? Just while
Well, I don't know.
stare with a boner? I don't know.
I would say this. I know that you and I don't know if Rudy's ever been to, I've never been in a porno theater, so I don't know.
I've
And neither do
never
you.
been in a porn theater, but when you start
Have you ever been in one?
By the time I was old enough, the internet existed.
No, that's true. Right, exactly.
Yeah, like, I just think
So we don't
out
even
of
know what happens in there.
I assume, I'm out of context, it sounds insane right now in 2023 that somebody would go to a theater, watch a porno,
Yeah.
and
it's
masturbate.
different.
But, like, back then, there was no internet, you know? I mean, you want to watch a dirty movie, the people congregated, and they sat systematically away from each other.
Yeah.
And people masturbated in the theater.
I don't think that's true. You mean at a high level?
No, it wasn't like a packed theater. You
No.
weren't sitting shoulder to
No,
shoulder.
they never
but
are.
everybody,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
It's like, that's what I'm saying, the systematic seating of
Yeah.
out of peripheral.
There's a movie called Porky's. I mean, and they have
Right,
a
right.
stag movie that in the movie that they have to reel in like a reel to reel, like an actual like a movie projector to be able to watch it, because none of that stuff existed. There was no DVDs, VHS.
Yeah.
Now it's just completely streamlined right to your phone,
Right.
but. None of that stuff existed back then. In fact, I think I told this story a couple months ago that there was a comic. I was walking through a sex shop here in Minneapolis with my ex-girlfriend, and they have the little peep rooms.
Yeah.
Where, the little curtain comes down and the girl's behind there, and then you do what you do, and then you leave. And as we were walking through, a comic I knew in Minneapolis who's well-known walked out of one of those booths.
Right.
And we made eye contact, and I was like, well, this is weird. And he's like, could you please not tell anybody? I'm like, no, it's fine, man. It's all good. We'll keep it secret. But it's, it's weird. But those existed because some people, that is their thing.
You mean whacking it in public is their thing?
Well, I mean, it'd be different if he's like sitting on a street corner, but it's in a dark theater. That's what you're there for.
I feel like that got blown out of context.
Yeah.
And they made it seem like he was this big time sex offender.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, but I could never do that. I would just be way too nervous to like whip it out in a theater.
I
Like,
don't think
God.
I could do it, but also, like, I feel like that's what that's for. Like, you
Yeah.
go into there
Really?
and you know that is what that is for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been in a porno theater, so I don't know what goes on. There used to be the Astor Art on Hennepin Avenue,
What was it
It's called
called?
the Astor Art.
Yeah, we looked this up on the show a couple
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
Then there was one on Franklin Avenue. I think it was
remember
just a
this.
Franklin Theater. That became a porn theater, didn't it? I think.
Astor Arts.
There are a lot of them in the territory from what I can remember. But I just, see, I'm one of those kind of guys, the touchy part of it is much better than doing it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you admitting to yourself that you can't pick anybody up and go home and have a romp? I mean, do you have to admit to yourself you're a complete failure?
I mean, starting relationships are hard. And if you just need to get
Well, yeah.
off, that's a whole different thing.
I suppose.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Keep the kids out of it, and I guess I go ahead and whack it out. They don't do it anymore because, like you said, it's on your phone now, so who cares?
Yeah.
But I guess maybe it's just I know it's something I couldn't do.
I feel you. That would be insane.
It just is not my kind of deal, and doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else. It's just, is that being a Catholic kid, do you think?
I don't know. I think that's the idea of you never being able to relax while your penis out. I don't think
Right.
is like an anomaly. I think that probably a lot of people can
Probably.
relate to that. But I definitely feel bad that is a part of his legacy because I go, well, I'm sure a bunch of people did that. You just happen to be famous and somebody knew who you were and you did that.
I was trying to think of who the comedian was years ago. God, I cannot remember who it was though. Came in to do the show. He said, "Tom, there's this new thing on your phone. You got to get it. It's the best. I've had it for about a week now. It's unbelievable. It's called RedTube." I'm like, "What?"
RedTube?
That's apparently they mean red tube when they're talking about it.
Probably Robert Schimmel.
It's. You think it was maybe?
Maybe, because he was all about that.
Oh, was he really?
Everywhere he went, he would show people. He's like, check out the one I found the other day. And there'd just be like some weirdo sort of lady dressed up like a dog. And
RedTube is porn. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's just...
Well, get it red tube.
Did you just Google that?
Yeah, I just Googled it. Now my computer is absolutely yes, here's 4,000 videos to watch.
But you don't get the red tube part of it?
No, is it supposed to be a penis?
Yeah, red penis.
All right.
Because you've been working it, apparently. I guess.
See, I didn't know that. I just thought it was a play on YouTube.
Well, I think it is also.
Oh, like red.
Yeah, like Red
I think
Tube,
it is
YouTube,
also.
like
Like
Red Light
XX
District. Yeah,
tube.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just, once again, good for you. You're sitting at home. That's good, and I'm happy for you. Right?
I had a producer in my life that would show me dirty clips. Super fun.
Oh, you worked right down the hallway from a producer that got caught jerking it in one of the studios one night.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't working at that night because that guy would come in. He would take over for me doing the overnights, and then I was working nights at the time. And I went, I came home, and then about I don't know, an hour or two later, somebody had dropped me a line. They were like, "Hey, by the way," so I showed up, to get some stuff done, and so-and-so who's in the studio did not know that I was standing behind them in the window and saw that they were watching porn with his pants around his ankles. And he's like, "I was supposed to go into the studio to get some stuff." And this is like 2 a.m. And he just said, "I just decided. So when you get to the studio tomorrow, can you take care of such and such thing I was going to do?" I'm like, I'll take care of it.
I'll take care of it after I sanitize everything.
Leave some sandy wipes hanging around.
Yeah, I literally don't have the balls to do something like that. I'd be way too nervous.
Yeah, for me, our shifts are not like 45 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one shift. But I know that there was a guy who worked at our station who definitely would, use that time. He had like a wife and kids that would talk to women and like do all sorts of stuff in studio.
Where was that? At KQ?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. You see, I was lucky. I stay away from radio people.
Because think about it. That computer his wife will never see.
Sure.
And so I just know there was all these chats up all the time, and I imagine that he's getting pretty excitable because it was just like constantly. And then he would always ask me weird questions, and I'd be like, "All right, I'm good."
He'd ask you questions about what?
I remember one time he asked me, "Hey, my cousin told me she uses this to masturbate. Have you ever done that?" And I was like, "I gotta go." I just
away
remember
from
being
me.
like, "I gotta go." So,
Do I know
because I could
this
just
person?
tell like that was his thing, was like talking to, whatever. I don't know if that's considered cheating or not. I would consider it cheating. But he would talk to these girls all the time. And he would ask these like questions. And I'm like, I'm not engaging in this. So I was like, I'm gonna go.
So do I know the guy?
Yeah, you know everybody.
Everybody involved in that story?
There was also a guy, well, I can't say this one. I'm not going to say that because there's not enough people to be vague. There was somebody in our business who would, like, you know how we had like a round studio, who would watch,
We did?
stuff while we were on air.
What was the round studio?
Like we had that like octagon-y studio.
Oh, Octagon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really round, but,
Sorry. Rotunda-esque.
Yeah, Rotunda F. You talking about that Studio B?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So he used to watch it while you were in there?
Yeah, and he didn't know. I think he'd like forget because I was the intern sitting behind him.
Look, if you want to watch pornography and whack off, that's your business. I'm not saying that you're a pain in the ass, whatever. Why don't you have a sex life?
Well,
That'll work, won't it?
Hey, I don't even care if you watch porn, but like our shifts in radio are not that long.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
wait till you get home.
I agree.
Like that to me is just crazy. It's like we're not working 10-hour days here, people. Like,
Do some people not want human contact even with their own spouse?
Depends on the spouse.
I
don't
suppose
know
depend
if
on you or the spouse or a number of other things, I guess.
Is porn interchangeable with sex? And if it is,
No.
is that's when it is a problem? Like, if you're always choosing porn over sex. But, like, otherwise, I think when most people, it'd be like a supplemental side thing.
Sure.
I guess. I don't know. I've never understood. It's this, it's not for me. But I knew that a long time ago. And it's not some, religious thing or anything like. It's just I like having sex. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That works.
I'll respond to that like you do when you tell people you don't smoke weed. Like, I'm not a weed guy. You just haven't found your thing yet. You just got to find your strand.
Yeah,
you just got to find the thing that you're into. And you're
Your
like, no,
niche
it doesn't matter.
thing,
I'm not
yeah.
into anything. I'm fine with it. I like a guy and a girl, and they do it missionary style, and then everybody just goes their separate ways.
Good day, sir.
Yes, they shake hands.
Do whatever you need to do. And again, if you watch porn and whack off, I'm not criticizing you. It's just not something I'd care to do.
Yeah, I don't care. Just like with the 3 hours we're on air, maybe don't do it then.
Yeah, can you just keep it down to the other 21 hours? You got 21 other hours to do. You got 7 times the time you have here.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. Like, that's where I go, are you that busy?
Yeah.
Yes.
I get sometimes, like, if I have to during a commercial break, like, I'll make a call or jump online and grab something, but, like,
Yeah.
I'm not too busy to do my porn elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, if you're not involving other people in it or kids or anything, you go ahead and do whatever you. I don't think you guys are criticizing him either. It's just not
I don't
my
care.
deal, right?
Yeah.
Paul Ruebens, best known for playing Pee Wee Herman. This is why this came up, because he was arrested for doing it in a theater one time. Paul Ruebens, Pee Wee Herman has died at 70 years old. Ruebens' rep confirmed his death in a statement to People on Monday, revealing that the actor had cancer for years before he died. Last night we said farewell to Paul Ruebens, an iconic American actor, comedian, writer, and producer whose beloved character Pee Wee Herman delighted generations of children and adults with his positivity, whimsy, and again, we talked about this just a couple minutes ago, the importance of kindness. Hit that hard. Paul bravely and privately fought cancer for years with his trademark tenacity and wit. Gifted and prolific talent, he will forever live in the comedy pantheon and in our hearts as a treasured friend and a man of remarkable character and generosity of spirit. All the best to Paul. I really did love Pee Wee Herman. My
Yeah.
God. That came along just when my kids were that age, the perfect age for it.
His show was hilarious.
It was, yep.
And fun. It was like the first of its kind. It kind of like, man, if he would have been around with YouTube, that would have slayed.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, millions.
Because it was interactive in a weird way. Like later that all shows kind of took on.
He was the first, I guess, piece of entertainment that my daughter and I both agreed on.
Yeah.
Because she was young.
Yep.
She was like 4 or 5 when we watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure for the first time. And then it just unraveled from there. We watched all the Pee-wee's Playhouse episodes. Then we started watching all the other movies. And then we started watching some of the shorts that he did. And then he just did Pee-wee's Big Holiday Adventure, I think it was, with that
Pee-wee's
Joe
Holiday Adventure,
Mangialeri or whatever.
Yeah.
With Sofia Vergara's ex-husband.
Yeah.
And really funny movie. I think it came out on Netflix, but yeah, what a talent and a sweet, sweet man. In fact, comedian Dana Gould, just posted a couple of pictures and a story about how Pee-wee's Playhouse was live on the road in 2010.
Really?
And Dana brought his daughters, at the time who were only 6 or 7, to the show, and then after the show they went backstage to say hi. So Paul asked the puppeteer who played Cherry, remember the TV show?
Sure, with
There
Chair,
was
yep.
Cherry, and it was a chair that talked. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
he asked the puppeteer, hey, would you stay in the chair while I bring these girls back? And then brought the girls back, and Cherry talked to them, and then they got to sit, and Cherry gave him a great big hug. And Paul set all that up because he wanted to make this moment special for him. How great is that?
That's so
Wonderful.
sweet. Do you guys remember in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that rich kid that was in the
Francis.
Yes. And he had, I think they called it his tub, but it was like a big pool. He was taking his bath in. That scene is so vivid to me.
Yeah.
And then the dinosaurs that they went and found, all that whole movie is just beautiful.
Yeah, dinosaurs still there. You can still sit in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. My favorite was the theme song. Anybody who writes a theme song and goes, wah, 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 wah. That's the whole song. That's some hard work writing that theme song. Love it.
Can you guys guess who sang this song?
Oh my God, like I can't think of her name.
The next door neighbor on some show.
Nope.
It's not Fran Drescher.
Nope.
I do not know.
She was equally as unique as Paul Ruebens was. Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper. Oh,
Oh, is it
that's
Cindy?
so Cyndi Lauper.
What's she up to now? She's still doing like asthma commercials or
I
whatever.
think she's doing like psoriasis commercials.
Psoriasis.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
She's done a little bit of acting, but when she did this TV show, when she did the theme for it, she didn't want to. I think like her people had asked, like, "Hey, by the way, you're doing this wrestling stuff right now, and you're kind of." Then Time After Time was getting big. Probably don't want to associate yourself with like children's TV shows.
Yeah, like zany.
Yeah, so she asked the producers of Pee-wee's Playhouse to credit her as Ellen Shaw.
Oh.
Weird piece of trivia. Didn't know that.
That is really interesting. 'Cause, yeah, it's not like super well known. And when you even ask them, like, I can see a face, but I would not have guessed Cyndi Lauper. It's not the person I was thinking.
Yeah.
I thought it was that old woman who kind of talked like that.
I did too.
That's who I thought it was,
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember what show that was on.
I don't even know how to Google that, but yes, absolutely.
And it's not Edith Bunker. People suggested Edith Bunker, but it's not Edith Bunker.
Are
It's
you,
somebody else.
are you talking about George Costanza's mom from Seinfeld?
Maybe.
That older lady?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George! Yeah, she kind of has that voice. Yeah.
Got that deal going. But Pee Wee Herman loved it. The kids loved watching it, the whole thing. And so many stars came through on that one. What, Cowboy Curtis?
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm just like so happy thinking about and that bike he had was so beautiful. And I'd never had a new bike ever. And I was like, that's the best bike I've ever seen in my life.
Now that he's dead, can I walk down the street and go,
Yeah, you can take that now.
I
It's
can
yours.
just steal it from
You
him.
can just go
I
ahead.
didn't do it anywhere near as well as he did, but, you know.
I can't even. You're doing it pretty well.
It's the greatest.
Rudy,
I love that
give it
show.
a go.
I used to do one a while ago, but it's been a while.
It's hard to do.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. You guys actually are doing well.
Yeah.
Not easy. That's all I'm saying. So, honest to God, Paul Ruebens, God bless you. It's just, again, great memories of my children being little children and watching that show. So, tip of the cap, Palomino. That's all I got to say to you. We should probably take a break here. Be
Yeah.
right back in a couple of minutes. I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable, because they do. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. And let me say that again, because it's true. They always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank, give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's S-A-B-R-E heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please, drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and Kristyn Burtt is with us. You killed Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, my heart is so broken. I was listening
know.
to your segment before, and I watched Pee Wee Herman religiously every Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a thing because in the summer, I lived up in Maine, and my cousins lived across the street. And then my best friend's grandparents lived at the house next door to my cousins. So all of us would like ride our bike to one house and we would all go and watch it on Saturday morning together. And it was just so much fun. And it's such a memory. And my cousin right now is up in Alaska. He's fishing this summer. And I was like, and he's not really, into the whole pop culture. And I was like, oh my gosh, end of an era. We lost Pee Wee. And I was like, to all of our fun Maine summers, because we were allowed to watch 1 hour of television on Saturdays. And it was always Pee Wee Herman.
What a great memory.
It is. It's a wonderful deal.
And yeah, he was incredibly, if you see any of the stories people are telling, he never forgot a birthday. He was like the funniest guy, like always texting people memes and things like that. And, but very private, really never wanted to, be out there on every red carpet. And that's why he kept his battle very private. It was brain cancer too, that he battled for years. Oh God,
that's gotta be just horrendous. 70 years old too. That's pretty young to be dying these days.
I think so. And he always looked young, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think he aged at all. Maybe a little gray around the temples or something, but he always had a very youthful, maybe it was his energy too, that, and that spirit.
One thing I loved about him, and Reed brought this up already, but then all the way with inventing names like Cherry, Dory, Fanny. He just added an E to everything. That's what it became.
Yeah.
And a Y.
And also, Phil Hartman was a part of that and wrote Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And I think, a lot of people brought it up yesterday. He played Captain Carl. But you just realize the magic the two of them created together.
Yeah.
And neither, both of them are no longer here with us. So
did his wife shoot him?
Yeah.
She did.
I
In fact,
so, yeah.
Guess what? The house is 2-minute walk from me. It's in my neighborhood. Yes.
Why don't you go over there and do the show?
I'm sorry, what?
Why don't you go over there and do the show? We can look around while you're in there.
I could do a filming. You know, the house is actually, it's so interesting because the house, the new owners, and I think that they've been there since the house went up for sale after the Phil Hartman left us. But it's like whimsical. They have all these like woodland creatures in the yard, and they kind of like built a lot of like trees, and they have like a wildflower garden. And it's like, I think they tried to change like the karma of the place.
Yeah.
And they have this big wooden bear out in front. It's like a big carved wooden bear. And like during COVID, like he wore a mask. Like when Russia first invaded Ukraine, he was holding a Ukraine flag.
Oh, yeah.
So I always go over there because there's always something very timely happening with the wooden
love
bear.
that.
There's something charming about the house because I really do feel like they tried to change the energy after, you know, something so horrific because it was a murder-suicide.
Right. Oh, that's right. It was murder-suicide, wasn't it? And she was from Minnesota, wasn't she?
She was.
I thought so, yeah. I can't remember her name, but I remember she was from northern Minnesota or something.
Bryn. Her name was Bryn.
Bryn?
Bryn Hartman. Yeah,
Indeed.
and she went like right up the street. We have a Buca de Beppo. You guys have Buca de Beppo?
Yeah, we started here.
Minnesota. Yeah. She went out to dinner with a friend. And then at some point, like during the dinner, which is like the most wholesome family place, like did lines of Coke. And then was out drinking with her friend and came back to the house, got into a fight with Phil Hartman and shot him. So she must have been like out of her mind.
Yeah, I don't have any proof of this, but after living in 43 houses by the time I turned 21, most of them in North Minneapolis, I had to have lived in a house where somebody was murdered. I mean, especially in North Minneapolis. You guys ever live in a house where someone was murdered?
I don't know.
Not that I know of.
I lived in some really, really old houses in Stillwater.
I love Stillwater.
I feel like somebody must have at least just died.
Oh,
one
yeah,
of them.
definitely died.
Yeah.
Those old houses.
I mean, I lived in New York City, so those apartments are ancient, like pre-war buildings. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
sure something happened in some of those.
I've never experienced that. You know, they always have this ghosty thing. I lived in 43 different houses by the time I was 21, never saw a ghost once. What the hell? What did I do?
I lived in a haunted hotel room for a month.
Did you?
What? What was it like?
It was actually really creepy. So I was at the, I'm trying to remember the name of the hotel, but it's in Dallas, Magnolia Hotel in Dallas.
Sure.
And it's an older hotel. And I think it used to be apartments. And before that, it was office buildings. And they're all suites. So they have like a small kitchenette, small living room, and then like a big bedroom. And I was there working the Texas State Fair, doing a show for a month. And I would go to bed every single night. And when I would wake up in the morning in my kitchen, like all the cabinets were open and the lights were on. To the point, I started taking photos and video before I went to bed thinking,
am I crazy?
What's going on
Am I not
here?
remember? Yeah.
Am I crazy? And I'm not on any medication because I know some people take Ambien and wake up and they've done stuff in the night. I've never taken Ambien. So, and I'm not a sleepwalker or anything else like that. It never happened except for in this room. But I would go, someone flipped the lights on, and I made sure there was a connecting door, but it was one of my coworkers. It was locked. There was no way for someone to get in. I was like, what is going on?
That is so spooky. I'm with you, Tom. I've never had like a very spooky moment happen to me. But
Does that mean we're both a pain in the ass?
I think we're just, we don't put out the vibe ghosts want to be around.
And even ghosts don't want to hang out.
Even ghosts don't want to be
Is that
around
what you're
us.
saying?
Yeah, I think of that.
I had a haunted boyfriend too.
What?
Do you want to hear that?
What? What does that even mean?
He had a ghost. So we lived together. This is the guy that dumped me before my birthday.
Yeah,
This should have been a red flag, guys.
Right?
Yeah, you didn't see that coming, huh?
No. But he used to have like night paralysis. Listen, I am like dishing all of his dirt.
I love
night
it.
paralysis and night terrors.
Oh, God.
But also when he lived there, we would have like open drawers all the time and like open cabinets, like things that were like insane that you were like, why are there 16 open cabinets? And because I'd had a haunted hotel room, I'm like, I do believe a little bit in this. And our dining room table, which I still have, it is mine. Every night you would hear like a creaking of like the wood. And this is a relatively newish table at the time. So it's not like it's an old table and they're settling, but it was like someone was like sitting on it.
Did you live with him or did he just?
I lived with him. And when he moved out, because it's my place, when he moved out, all of the drawers opening, the cabinets, that like weird sinking of the wood in the middle of the night, all stopped.
Did you ever ask him if it happens when he's in another place?
I after he dumped me right before my birthday, I never spoke to him again, other than like seeing him from afar at like award shows and like doing a wave. That was it. I never spoke to him again.
But like prior to you guys moving in, did you ask him, did any of these things ever happen?
No, and I don't necessarily think he thought he was haunted. Do you
Well,
know what I
he's
mean?
for
And
sure
then I was
haunted.
like, I feel like you start adding it up. I'm like, this is why you have like night tremors and sleep paralysis and
Can we call him
crazy?
Can we reference him as Haunted Steve? Just like that'll be his name.
Haunted Steve, yes.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I do believe in some sort of like whatever. It's ghosts, it's energy, it's something. But he was a haunted person. Like he had a ghost that lived with him.
Do you believe in ghosts, Tom?
No.
No.
I've never even seen anything that might even come close to being a ghost. Maybe they're avoiding me, though. That might be the deal. They just don't want to be around me.
I bet Rudy does. My bet is Rudy for sure. Oh, he's on the phone. I bet he does believe in ghosts. That's my bet.
I had a ghost encounter down in Missouri. Still don't believe in them.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't buy into any of that mumbo jumbo garbage about ghosts and about like crystals and your astrological sign. Listen, there's just sometimes I can't help it. I'm just an addictive person. It's the Virgo in me. No, you're just an idiot. I don't like any of that stuff. The encounter I had, there was green lights. There was cupboards opening and shutting, and there was a pile of 2x4s down in the basement that got pushed over one day. And then as I went downstairs to go check it out, I heard the cupboard doors upstairs slam, and then went upstairs. And I had just moved into this place, and I had some neighbors next to me that I had never met before. And then after, I don't know, must have been about 3 weeks of all of this going on, I walked outside. I finally met my elderly neighbor. And he goes, "Hey, did Kathy tell you about the gal who used to live here?" So no, I never mentioned it. He goes, "Huh, she used to come running out the door all the time screaming, 'There's ghosts in this apartment,' blah." I was like, "Yeah, wow, she sounds like a nut job. I don't know what to tell you, man." But I don't know. It happened, and I still to this day I don't buy into it.
Something was going on.
That is such that's such a guy thing to be like, that's not a big deal. I'm just going to live my life. Rent's cheap, so I plan to live there. Like, I would be so out.
Like, bye. I mean, what about aliens? Like, everyone, the government's saying, like, the aliens exist.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the other cultures do exist around the universe, I'm sure. I don't think there's any question about that. We don't probably want to know them right now, though.
Why do you say that?
Because they're far advanced, much farther advanced than we are, and they probably couldn't handle our bullshit that's going on. Everybody hates everybody. They'd probably get sick of that right away.
Yeah, I could see that.
Everybody's kind of a prick now. Have you noticed that?
Well, we have to be really careful. If there are aliens, I've really thought about this a lot. And by a lot, I mean at least, on a 3-mile run, so maybe not as much as I probably should put in the thought of it. But we got to make sure who's forward facing. Who's going to be our, hey, nice to meet you? Like, because I'm not trying to send.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm sorry, but all of our leadership are like old and kind of awkward. Like, we got to send some Gen Zs there and be like, hi. Like, I don't know who's going to say hi to the aliens, but I don't feel like it's our leadership right now.
Who does everyone like?
Great question.
Like a Gen Zer.
Zendaya.
We could send Zendaya. Everyone likes Zendaya. Although, listen, she just lost her co-star yesterday too, Angus Cloud.
I know, isn't that so sad?
It was I feel like celebrity deaths really do come in threes because it's like Tony Bennett, Paul Ruebens, and then you've got Angus Cloud. But the Angus Cloud one, he was only 25. That was tremendously sad.
What happened with him?
They believe from his mother's 911 call, she said possible overdose. His father passed away last week, and they said he was struggling to deal with it, and his mental health was not good. And there are a lot of photos now that are out on the internet that he was partying in his last few days alive. So it possibly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, hey, it was a fentanyl overdose. Because that's really what's happening. And it's sad because Euphoria, the show he is on, deals a lot with that generation and drugs and what they're going through. And you just hate seeing like a storyline come to life.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
That's a sad one.
It is.
That guy, and his big thing too, Tom, is he would always have these interviews where people would be like, oh, I heard you're just like your character. And he would sit there and defend that. Like, I'm not like my character. We're actually really different. I bring a lot of different things to my character. And then to die possibly of a drug overdose, you go, oh, like it feels very
it's
in line.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is.
I have to ask you a question. What do you have against older people?
Older people?
You always criticize older people. Do you not know you're doing that?
No, I love older people.
You do that all the time. It's like, and I understand what you're saying with Biden and Trump.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, was like specifically them.
But you specifically just said old people. You didn't say them.
No, I said our older leadership.
No, you've been at them 4 or 5 times now.
What?
How'd you like if I said,
you know what,
I
Tom?
don't like anybody under 40?
I don't either.
No.
I don't like anyone under
Here's the
37.
thing.
Yeah, there you go. What's that?
I think that there's a really interesting thing on social media that's been talking about, like, why are we back in a situation for 2024 with 2 silent generation, not even boomers, silent generation candidates? We're assuming, and we're both assuming, of course, Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the final nominees. But we have had boomers, and then we went back to silent generation. Gen X has never been president. Millennials have never been president. It's really interesting that they haven't had the opportunity to be in the White House. A majority, this is the other thing that I think is fascinating, a majority in Congress are either boomers or the millennials, not Gen X. And I'm like, what happened to Gen X in that situation, that they just really didn't step up into leadership or didn't have the opportunity?
Maybe they're not good thieves like the people that run the country now.
Us millennials are great thieves.
Term limits would be good. Term limits, I think, would be really good in Congress.
I think what maybe is like pinging in my brain is that Mitch McConnell, like having that freeze.
I know. Yep.
And I go, that's terrifying that somebody who possibly, and I don't mean to attack him or anybody elderly.
I know.
But when you go, that person's making decisions and we don't know where their mental health, or not their mental health, but they're just like health in general
Cognitive.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cognitive
cognitive aware. Yeah. And I mean, I go, that's kind of weird to me that those people like that are making decisions for the population. But
Dianne Feinstein, I'm going to add her in there too.
Yeah.
She's also someone, she's 90.
Yeah.
She's in decline as well.
that's crazy. I think that's where maybe my brain went this week, where I think about that, where I go, ooh, that's kind of scary. Like somebody should check in on what's going on with him.
No, I agree with that, but also look at the other ages of people in office.
Totally.
They're screwing up everything they touch.
Yeah, that's totally what I mean.
Disgusting.
I don't think, like, there are people in this world for sure. I mean, I don't have any problem with, like, older people or younger people. I don't really, I feel like, but maybe that is what's pinging, that's coming out of when I'm talking about, like, of who I want to meet the aliens. And you know what? Maybe I do want a 90-year-old to meet the aliens. Maybe they'll be chill.
Maybe someone like Jane Fonda, like she's in her 80s and super sharp.
There you go.
Super chill.
You don't know. It's like, but she could sit there and like do her Jane Fonda aerobics workout.
Totally.
She's wonderful. And people always get pissed off at me about that because I spent some time with Jane Fonda. She gave me a hug, and it was the sweetest person, and one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And nobody believes me that she was very sweet. They think she's this hard line.
And smart.
Absolutely.
Didn't you say she was just like strikingly beautiful
She's
too?
incredible. Well, I mean, not like you two.
Oh yeah, well, duh.
Yeah, that's a given.
The bar set so high.
Exactly. No, she was magnificent. Very nice. You could tell though, just by, and a few of us in this area have had a hard time with our dads. It's carried on into our lives, later lives, and all the rest of it. But you could tell by the way she comported herself that she's never gotten over the way her father treated her. Her father treated her like dirt.
No.
Horrible guy. And Peter, too, by the way, her brother. He treated his kids like crap because he was the star of the show. And that was hard to watch because you could just tell by, her body language and all the rest of it that Henry, I guess Henry was a raging prick, though.
That Jane Fonda is the one that you said had a sadness in her eyes. Right?
No doubt about it. Have you ever met her, Kristyn, face to face?
I have, actually. She is incredible.
She is incredible. Did you notice the sadness in her eyes, though?
Yeah,
Yep.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's something that just, it's like that, you call it your inner child, that pain that just never
Yeah.
goes
Yep.
away. It's just always sort of like underneath the surface.
Oh, I mean, you still have a lot of trouble with people these days. They didn't get along with mom, they didn't get along with dad. People take that with them the rest of their lives, and it becomes a massive pain in the ass because it gets in the way a lot. It's unfortunate, but I guess that's probably happened to Jane. She had to make some political statements that her father would have hated, and maybe she made those statements just so he would hate them, I think, once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, just to be the opposite, be contrary to him, but also, you're living in a acting legacy of a family, and she's carved a path for herself. She is more than like earned her reputation as a really fabulous actress. She's won the awards, and I always sit there and think like, I mean, she was someone like in the 80s when she's doing her aerobics tape. That's not something that actresses were doing that had Oscars on their shelf. Like that was taking a risk, and it was like a huge hit. Now actors do everything. They do commercials, and they will promote anything. And I'm going to tell you, the next 3-4 months, you're going to watch actors promoting absolutely everything to make some money.
Yep.
And so, but she carved the path. She made it okay for people to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And with the rules of the strike, they can go on shows and promote a thing like that, right? If they just can't promote anything they're acting in, is that correct?
Correct. So if you're, let's just say you're promoting a beauty line, you can go on like Kelly and Mark, in the morning, and like go and promote that beauty line. You cannot talk about any role, past role or present role, from any of the struck companies. If you were in an indie film that had signed an interim agreement with SAG, you would be allowed to promote that. That would be the only situation where you're allowed to talk about a TV or film. But that's why we're going to see a lot of celebrities that normally wouldn't be doing social media deals or commercials. They're going to start popping up. And in fact, I'm starting to get some of those pitches already in my email. And I think we will see some actors do some reality shows that we'd be like, I didn't think that they would ever do that. So I think that will happen. Although there is some hesitation to work for a struck company, like let's say a Dancing with the Stars. Do you really want to go to work for Disney ABC? And even though, it's going to be a decent paycheck when you're still fighting them. So the optics can be really weird. So I think a lot of actors will be hesitating on taking something like that.
I got to tell you something. This is hilarious looking back. What's the CBS television station in Los Angeles?
What number is it? Channel 2?
No, the
KTLA.
Is it KTLA?
It's not KTLA.
No, I don't think it is.
It might be like.
Is it KCBS? I think it is KCBS.
I think it's KCBS. It's KCBS out here.
This is a true story. I did the voiceover for them. The time now for this KCBS News with blah 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 blah. The union people in LA found out that I was from Minnesota, and they picketed the building. Because even though I was a member of SAG and AFTRA, and it had been for 25, 30 years, they didn't like the fact that a guy from Minnesota was taking their work from them. It's like, what? Aren't we all in this together? I thought we were all in this union. It's a union. Get it? I mean, what is that crap? That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah, they picketed the building because I was from Minnesota. How stupid are these? Well, they're actually.
How did they find that out in the first place?
Well, because once they went, well, who's this new guy that's doing Channel 4? They dig deeply into all that. Maybe they don't need more, I don't know, but they used to big time do that. Not in New York, not in Chicago, but in LA. They love to do that.
Interesting, because New York's the East Coast is the real like union town. And I was talking about this with someone. They were asking me about it yesterday, because in industrials, and I don't know if people know what an industrial is, but it's like usually like an in-house corporate video of like, here's our new training system, blah, blah, blah. They are already using AI. So they're not using actors or hosts anymore. And that was how I actually got into the union. I was living in New York. I did a Mercedes-Benz industrial. New York has stayed a true union town. Out here in LA, the industrials have kind of like gone by the wayside to non-union.
Oh, really?
They're not doing union. Yeah. And it's real. And same with infomercials. Like there's a lot of things that they've completely gone non-union over the last couple of decades. so I'm just like, how do people get into the union now? It's got to be tremendously hard.
Yeah, because you have to work and then get in the union, but you're not supposed to work if you're not in the union. That makes it a little tough.
It makes it very tough. And then sometimes you're not ready to get in the union,
Right.
but you're a must join.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you were working nonstop non-union, and now all of a sudden you're not working union. And the initiation fee, I don't know. I think it's well over $3,200
Is
to
it
just
now?
join. I think. I mean, it was less than $1,000 when I joined. So
Yep.
I
Well,
think it
I'll
was
tell
like 600, and I was like, this is so much money. But now I can't imagine like for a struggling actor to scrape up over $3,000 to join the union.
Dang.
It would be tough. I will tell you this, though, on the upside of the whole thing, as life moves on and you get a little older, you are going to love your SAG and AFTRA benefits. They are huge. I mean, they did take care of their retirees, and even if you're not retired, once you get to that certain age, SAG and AFTRA benefits are really good.
The pension's good, but they yanked away health insurance benefits during the pandemic for any of the
Yeah, I
retirees.
suppose. Yeah, I suppose that's
So
gonna
that's
happen.
unfortunate, and that's because that was a very big point of contention.
Yeah, I can see that. What an interesting business that was. First getting into it and just, God, it was a wonderful life. But things all of a sudden just changed, and a lot of it came out of L.A. They forced changes on the entire United States because they didn't like the way things were going for them. But, whatever. I had a wonderful life doing it, and God bless everyone. That's all I'm saying.
God bless us one and all.
God bless us one and all, damn it. That's all I have to say.
You're
But yeah.
suddenly Tiny Tim.
Is there a lot of
Tiny
voiceover?
Tom. You're Tiny
Hey,
Tom.
Tiny Tom. Is there a lot of voiceover work in Minneapolis, St. Paul? Because it used to be a huge voiceover market back in the day, but I don't really hear any local people anymore. Does anybody know?
When I lived there, it was a huge market because I,
Yeah, it
did
was.
other things, and they would call me in for voiceover all of the time. But Rudy, you would probably know best, right?
Yeah, no, but we do well. Yeah, voiceover people here. Yeah, Chris Egert hears me all the time. Says he's listening to me on friggin' Sirius XM. A friend of mine from Washington State the other day hit me up, was like, "Are you on the gas pumps at Cenex?" I'm
Yes!
like, "Yes, I am."
Oh my God. Okay. I was having, it was like a really hot day, and I was like, is that Rudy? And I was like sitting there waiting to film it to send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it never came back because, of course, then like all these other ads.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was you, and I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, even in Portland this weekend, a guy came up to me and he goes, "I was watching on stage," and then afterwards I was like, "You promote Diet Pepsi for $1.79 in store, don't you?" I was like,
There you
"Yeah,
go.
yes, I do."
Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
so,
kill for a Diet Pepsi right now, Rudy.
I have a question for you, though, because this is going to sound kind of weird, but is it really easy to make that $100,000 a year level?
No,
No,
not
that's-
like it used to be.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, the salaries have gone away. The
Yeah.
voiceovers are still there. I did 3 yesterday, and I probably cleared, I don't know, $250 for 3 voiceovers.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
but that's the way this business is. It's
Yeah,
so
it is.
it's not. And I keep telling everybody who wants to get in it. There's 2 ways to make $1,000 in this business. You either do 10 ads for $100, or you do 1 ad for $1,000.
Oh, I'll pick the one for 1,000.
Trust me,
Less work.
we all would, but
Oh,
that's
we don't
not
get to
how,
just
that you don't
choose?
get to
It's not-
choose.
Oh, okay,
That's
never
not-
mind.
They don't come
yeah.
around very often.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but like one of my good friends, Adam Ray, is the voice of Hyundai right now. And
Nice.
that's a big chunk of change
It
that
is,
comes
yeah.
in. Absolutely.
Where's
you know?
he live?
He's in LA.
What a shock. That's why I asked you. Because they're all in L.A. now.
It's also a reminder that SAG went on strike in 2000 for the commercial contract, and
Right.
it lasted 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the corporations went non-union in that time, and they never went back to union
Right.
once that strike was over. So strikes sometimes work, sometimes don't in our favor, but the commercial industry never recovered in terms of union benefits and those days of doing one commercial making you $100,000. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You're lucky for a union commercial now. Like 12,000 is a lot of money off of one commercial.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also that's what it should be, because it's not fair to everybody else who has to go out and bust their ass, and then you have to hear people complain like, how are these people supposed to make a living? It's garbage. It's ridiculous that they do 3 commercials a year and can make $100,000 a year. Listen, I'm all for the actors, I'm all for all the writers, but you shouldn't be making that kind of money if all you do is work 3 days out of the year.
That's so Virgo of you.
I totally disagree, Rudy. I totally disagree on this because there were so many people that were doing commercials and earning a living where they could afford their rent and afford their mortgage because of the commercial. And it allowed them to go out and, audition to act in films and TV and everything else. And that doesn't exist as a job anymore. Like, commercials were your safety net. Now you're scraping by, trying to find other jobs to pay the rent, and oftentimes multiple jobs.
Yeah, and you should. I feel like you should. I have 5 sources of income. None of them are huge, but you have to have that to be able to make it nowadays. It's completely different. I get back in the 80s, you could do 3 commercials for Alka-Seltzer and for Honda, and then maybe one for like McDonald's, and you can make it. Great. I'm glad you had your heyday. Finally, somebody pick up a hammer and let's get some skills going again and get people in the workforce and actually get like a little bit of a work ethic behind some people. Because don't get me wrong, I get they
like
work.
my dad.
Good.
No.
Good. He's a smart man.
Because once streaming came along, that's when commercials actually changed. That was that's exactly when we really saw everything change, and that the fact that you really had to have a survival job. If you're a parent, you shouldn't be having to like Uber and then like run to your serving job and then run to your IT job and then run to an audition. You shouldn't have to do that to live. You shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think that is fair. People deserve a living wage, and these corporations are making a ton of money, and it should be trickling down, but we know that trickle-down economics don't work.
No, they do not. But hey, look, I'll close with this. People don't realize this, and maybe it's the same now. I'm not around it anymore. But there was so much talent in this market in voiceover. It was unbelievable. Really, really talented people in this market. This was one of the top voiceover markets in the country for many, many years because of all the talent that was here. So I did want to leave it on kind of a positive note.
Yeah. That son of a bitch George Clooney did that voiceover for that movie, like The Incredible Mr. Fox or something like that. And ever since then, it's been all celebrities that do all the animation voiceover.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's blame it on Clooney.
Let's. I agree. We can agree on something, Kristyn.
He's over in
and his like chateau in Lake Como, Italy.
That's where he is right now. As a matter of fact, he was just on TV talking about something. He was at his chateau at
with
Lake
his beautiful
Como.
wife Amal and their 2 perfect kids.
Are their kids perfect?
I don't know. They don't put them out in public, which is really smart, like not putting their kids on social media.
I agree. Absolutely.
We're just imagining their fabulous life, like on a boat on Lake Como, you're sipping like a glass of wine.
I love
relaxing.
that place. I've only been there a couple of times, but Lake Como is amazing. If you ever get a chance, if you've never been, definitely go. It's phenomenal. And the people couldn't be any nicer. I mean, for
sounds
a town,
fabulous to me.
All right, sister, another big report, I thought.
A big one and a small little commercial argument.
I loved hearing both your guys' point of views. It was very interesting.
Both valid, just different points of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still love you at the end. Isn't that crazy that we can have an argument and we still like each other?
I'm not mad at all, too. I was just like, meh.
No, it was enthralling.
Yeah.
I don't like any. What do you think of that action?
Tom, but in our defense, you started not liking us, so the argument didn't make a difference.
It just goes, it goes nowhere.
And in the end, we agreed to blame it on George Clooney.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much, my dear.
I'll see you on the family.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it. We'll be right back. Many of you have taken my recommendation to give mnfatloss.com a try. I'm hearing from so many people how this program has worked for them when nothing else would. The mnfatloss.com program really has discovered the secret to weight loss. Just like the program says, I lost about a pound of fat every day. I did the first 60 days in the maintenance program, and now I went back to the weight loss program to get my ultimate goal. And honestly, it's not hard at all. I eat real meat, vegetables, and fruits. I'm not hungry or feel deprived. Matter of fact, Catherine asked me last night, she said, well, she didn't ask me, she told me. She said, you got to start eating more dinner. You don't eat enough for dinner anymore. That's just part of it. I'm not as hungry.
Yeah.
They really have figured it out, the secret to fat loss. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, that's about a pound of fat every day, no exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you. Promo code TOM. There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase "go fly a kite" to an extreme and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. Ladies and gentlemen, 8:25, now 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert joins us. You know, I did not get a chance to watch your news this morning because I slept until like 5 after 6 this morning.
Dang.
Good for you.
I did. I slept at, well, I woke up at 2 in the morning, so I took a 5 milligram or whatever the hell it is, the 5 gram edible or whatever, and I fell back asleep and I woke up at 5 after 6. So I didn't get a chance. Anything happened on the news this morning I should know about?
We were talking a lot about the legalization thing, which was official today. So that was kind of our big, that was the big story today. And we, the Red Lake Nation's opening up a legal dispensary. They can do that because they're on federal land. And so we had a reporter up there today too. So yeah, that was kind of our big deal today. And then the situation yesterday that had the interstate shut down where the state troopers shot somebody on the freeway. Sounds like he was fleeing. We don't know a lot about that, but that's going to be something I think we're going to hear more about later on today because the family's going to have a news conference today. So it's given the history and the backstory of these kinds of things in our area the last several years, I anticipate that story is going to be, something you're going to be hearing about a lot more.
Is there any indication what happened? Was the guy speeding on the freeway or what was he doing?
He had some kind of I think it was a felony warrant out for, he had some kind of a warrant out of Ramsey County. And supposedly he also had both his back tail lights were out. The story we're hearing so far is that he was stopped because of the felony warrant, I believe. But a lot about that we don't know. There's 3 troopers who were put on administrative leave, and which is standard.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
Where this will go will depend on what's shown in the body camera video, because state troopers do have body camera video, and apparently there's dash cam video of it too. So
why did they have to shut down the freeway for like 7 hours?
Well, when something like that goes down, they usually do, and particularly any kind of fatality usually has it shut down for 3, 4, 5 hours. But given the nature of this and given the history of these kinds of things here, I'm sure they were meticulous in how they were documenting every single aspect of that scene.
Is there any indication why the trooper felt he had to shoot the guy?
I don't know. No.
So you don't know if he pulled a weapon or threatened?
They haven't. There haven't been a lot of details released about that. So that's something we're also waiting to hear more on. which I think.
Did you just call me a moron?
Moron. That's what we're reading here, moron.
That's what we're reading here.
Moron. Reading here, moron.
I love that.
Thank you so much. Great to work with you. Absolutely, no question about it.
He's so aggressive. Sorry, we didn't
Really
know,
is.
Chris.
By the way, can I got to catch some Rudy and Kristyn's little discussion there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
So did I.
enjoyed that. It's good to have a little robust debate about these things.
Sure.
What were they debating again?
About the commercial work and how much people were making.
yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have those discussions with people, especially when they're wrong on their end, and it's totally okay.
There you go.
I'm kidding, obviously. No, I see where she's coming from with that. It just, man, when I see people that are really, really struggling, who are trying to have skills, and then people complain like, I only got paid $30,000 for my half day of work on that Xantex commercial. I'm like, okay, maybe you should find something else to do, my man. Like, the world needs some productive people, not just people waiting around for a payday.
Yeah, but if the guy's not good enough to make that kind of money, it's not his fault.
Not good enough to make that kind of money, like in a skilled position somewhere?
Yeah.
Then we should definitely not be giving that guy $30,000 to be in a commercial.
Well, if he's good enough to do it, if that's what it costs, that's what it costs.
I feel like it's interchangeable. You could take almost anybody and put him in that position. It'd be different if, you know, you do have a guy that is like a giant superstar, and they're the only person that can, you know,
now.
But it just, I don't know, man. Like I see a lot of people that are struggling elsewhere that are really trying to make it in other avenues. And the fact that, you know, it's cushy jobs where when you're on set, you have a craft service that is serving you food all day. And people stop by and they're like, hey, would you like a smoothie? Can I get you a latte?
I'd love a smoothie.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody would. Yes,
Hey,
absolutely.
You guys don't have a smoothie machine there? Jeez, Tom. What kind of operation are you running?
Hopefully not for much longer. I will tell you that. Honest to God. In any case, so what else is happening in the world?
Well, I was going to ask you, how's your car running? Your electric, your Mustang?
Absolutely love that thing. Doug Sprinthal picked it out for me. He's the one that said, "Man, this is the car for you." And again, I'm one of those kind of guys that if my friend goes somewhere, that's where I'm going to go. So I went over to Flagship and we picked this up. I absolutely adore that car. It's very comfortable. Well, Catherine bought a Lexus SUV that's hybrid.
Yep.
So she's got the gas and the electric, and I love that car. So that also pushed me toward the Mustang too. I absolutely love it though. Really, really good.
The gas prices are going up. That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
Because
Catherine has a 5-gallon tank. I think most of the hybrids have only about a 5-gallon gas tank, don't they? Something like that.
Yeah, it's something wrong. I mean, each one is, I think, it all changes which version you get. But
yeah. 5-gallon gas tank I filled it up for is $20. It's like for 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah, well, it's like what is it? It's almost $3.75. I mean, this
was like $3.95.
Well, what's nice now is when you're angry about how much you're paying, you can associate it with Rudy's voice because he is doing commercials at the gas tank. So you can start to hate Rudy slowly.
At the gas tank. Now, where is that?
I was at
Senex?
Speedway when I heard it.
Oh yeah, I heard him too. That's right.
And I tried to film it because I was, of course, am like everybody's mom and a nerd where I was so excited. And then it wouldn't come back. And I was like, it was 100 degrees out last week. And I was like, I cannot. I'll ask him.
Brittany, you're not supposed to freaking use your phone at a gas pump.
Yes, you are not.
Mythbusters proved that wrong. You guys are idiots. Look at your faces. Moron.
Okay, hey, listen, if you want to burn up in a inferno at Speedway listening to Rudy as the last voice in your head,
if it would
go for it.
If it would get me out of this conversation is the option to burn, yes, I choose burn.
See, I don't have to go to gas stations anymore, so I don't know anything about it.
You don't know the drama.
I don't know the
Tom,
drama.
how big of a pain in the butt was it to have the plug put in or the...
Not at all. The guy who did it did a great job.
How much is that, can I ask?
I have no idea.
I know.
Because I think the Dougie knows. I don't. Doug Sprinthal knows.
I should ask Doug next time he's on, because that kind of blows my mind. The neighbors had that put in real quick.
Well, it takes no time at all.
They have 3 electric vehicles out of their 4.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is wild.
But yeah, it's a whole different. It feels really, really weird to not have to film. I've had 3 electric vehicles now over the last 20 years or so, I guess.
Yeah.
And it feels weird to me still to not have to go to the gas station to fill the gas tank. It still feels weird.
I bet you miss. I'd miss Almond Joys.
Oh, no, I still go for that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's no question about that.
I still go for the smokes and the lotto tickets. I mean, really, what else?
Yeah,
That's
there you
Chris
go.
in a nutshell. Cigs and lotto tickets, just
Smokes and
littering,
lotto tickets.
You don't
littering his
smoke.
floor.
I'm just kidding.
No,
Tommy, one of your viewers emailed me, or one of your listeners, I guess viewer too, they can see us, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of your listeners emailed me yesterday about a used car deal, which is very nice.
See? Look at that.
Look at
So
you.
just-
I'm still trying to find something. Oh, we got 4 drivers and 3 cars in my house, and it's a shell game that's going on every moment of every day. Anyway, he has this really sweet car. He sent me some pictures of it yesterday, but it's a convertible, and I don't know that that's the most practical thing to put my teenage daughter in.
I loved it when I was a teenager riding in convertibles, though.
Oh, God, like, don't get me
Man.
wrong. If I was her, I'd love that, but I'm not sure Mom's really on board with that.
Yeah, I understand. They are
It's
not
a
as
really-
safe.
It was super nice of him, though, to do that. So
It is.
It is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I wanted to shout him out for that yesterday. So
Yeah, we do have a lot of great listeners, no doubt about that. No question.
shout out has been delivered.
The shout out has been delivered. I'm glad to hear that. That's good news for everybody. What's the world's reaction in the news? I'm talking about the TV news world. Losing people like Pee Wee Herman, Paul Ruebens dying. You guys covered that, I suppose, at length. Did you not?
Yeah, it's funny. We had a story in this morning, and of course we had to mention in his obit, or did we, about the indecent exposure thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had it wasn't a long bit. It was only like 30 seconds or something. But one of the sentences was, he, kind of fell out of the public view or,
Yeah,
after
for a while.
his
Yep.
indecent exposure thing. And then I was looking into, he'd also been, at one point accused of child pornography charges.
Oh.
Because of some, photos that they found in his house. It turned out it wasn't. I didn't even know this. It turned out it wasn't considered child pornography, but it was like vintage erotica.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Vintage erotica.
Old timey, like guys in monocles and nothing else.
Oh,
I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, it
But
was
they
more-
pleaded to a lesser charge, so that he never did get charged with that.
Yeah, it was more like performance art is really what it kind of boiled down to.
But like with kiddos?
No. So that's why you never heard this story, is because it wasn't with kiddos. That's what they were going with and then they were like, okay, listen, we're just gonna, if you just plead guilty to this lesser charge, we'll make all the rest of this stuff that we kind of speculated go away. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So there was no kids involved.
No kids involved. Yes. No kids involved. Yes, because we would be singing a different tune this morning if there
Yeah.
was kids involved,
Yeah.
but there was no kids
Well,
involved. No.
What got us talking about that, and Tom, I guess the context of Ruben's stuff that he had going on, I brought up the Michael Jackson thing, and I still,
Right.
to me, it seems like it's such a crazy thing that, like, if R. Kelly comes on the radio, well, it's not even playing on the radio anymore.
Right.
If a conversation comes up about Bill Cosby, but Michael Jackson music still regularly plays on the radio. All those allegations about stuff that went on.
Mhm.
It's kind of weird how his
Yeah.
stardom and his music has like transcended anything that he was ever accused of doing.
Well, last time I talked to him, I was sitting across from him. We were just having a cup of coffee, and he said, "Don't forget, Tom, the Jews do it on purpose."
The Jews do it
When he
on
did that.
purpose.
And then you agreed and you both cheersed.
It's like, what the hell? Why would you say that?
That was such a weird thing to
I
say.
mean, why on earth? And he did it on video on top of it.
And it's like the creepiest voice he uses too.
Jews do it on purpose.
It's-
What?
It's that guy. If you watch that, was it like Escaping Neverland or whatever? You walk away from that going, he 1,000% did that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no, because I was always like, well, did he? Didn't he? I didn't know enough about it, whatever. And then once you watch that, and I'm not saying you have to go out and not listen to his music. There's just a part of me that is I have a hard time once I'll hear a song like da na 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 na, and then a little bit of my heart goes, oh yeah.
Yeah, like when Pretty Young Thing comes on the radio and you're like, Pretty Young Thing. And then you're like, oh.
I don't like me right now. I don't like me right now singing it kind of feeling, yeah.
Did they ever prove that he led the life he led because his father abused him sexually as a child?
There's a lot of speculation around the way he grew up and all this stuff, but
that he had lost his childhood because he never really got it. He was like singing at a young age and never really had that like time of his life where he could
listen. And I'm not blaming the parents or I would call them victims as well, but there was these things in this documentary, what people would do just because somebody's a celebrity. Like, my kid's never sleeping over at anybody's house just because of how many records they sold. And I'm not blaming the victims, but there is a mentality where I go, how? What maybe it was an age where his stuff didn't come out as much, but it was wild how quickly it'd be like, oh, you want to spend the night at Neverland? Perfect.
He had an amusement park in his backyard. Of course you're going to send the kids over.
See, I would be like, well, I'm coming too. You get a 2-for-1.
Hey, somebody asked you to come stay overnight at Valley Fair, you're going to go? Come on.
I'm going to go, but sending go-go, all right, well, you're right. I've only been a mom for years, honestly. I look at you guys and go, you're probably right. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week. Peyton Manning, when he was filming that bit for SNL where he was with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And he was taking the football and he was hitting the kids. When they were not filming, parents were coming up to him and saying, hey, will you do me a favor? Can you just hit my kid with the football? And he's like, what? No. He's like, I'm not going to drill your kid with the football just so you can say you got drilled. But he's like, come on, all the other kids are getting hit. I want my kid to get hit. He's like, no, I'm not going to hit your kid. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's still one of the best Saturday Night Live.
It's so good.
It is good. Yeah, it is good.
Tom, did you remember that Phil Hartman had an appearance in Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Yeah, we talked about it already this morning.
Yeah, I was like, what? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
But he wrote a lot of it, didn't he?
Yes, and he also was a co-writer for Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I know
10 out of 10.
Always like Pee-wee.
Did you guys, Chris, you have, and Rudy, was that hold true for kids? They could watch almost as younger kids now, and you think it would still hold?
Yeah, because my daughter, when she first saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that was it. She was all on board with Pee-wee Herman. And then we went back and we rewatched all the old episodes.
Yeah, because none of that was live for you.
No, and it really does. It holds up. And a lot of it, as Tom was talking about earlier, the amount of kindness that he was, putting out in the world and perpetuating, and that was his jam. And he seemed like a genuinely good person that adults and children could identify with.
I have full control right now of what Go-Go will be obsessed with, and knowing that we are going to go through a Pee-wee era is filling my heart. That's exciting.
It is terrific, no doubt about that. What are you laughing about?
Tom's face.
I'm just waiting it out, man.
It was funny. I was just looking at your face while that conversation was going on.
Well, it's nonstop. It's just been about 4 or 5 weeks now. It all works out in the end, right?
Funny.
But I understand everybody's point on this. Look, I will tell you, when she gets to that point, you are going to be ecstatic.
I know.
You're going to love it.
Did you just love rewatching things that you loved with your kiddos? Yeah.
Yeah, no question about it. And what's so hilarious about that is Andy and Alex had completely different tastes in what was funny.
Yeah, I could see that to
180
this day.
degrees. It was unbelievable. So it was a little tough to balance out. But no, the joys of all that.
Yeah.
The joy of watching my 7-year-old granddaughter, Fawn, hug almost 2-year-old Ethan, it just makes my week. Not just my day, my week. We're a very loving family. And we really are. And that's, a lot of that has to do with Catherine and all the rest of it. But yeah, that's huge. Having little kids around is phenomenal.
Who was it? Was it Alex who fell to her knees when she saw Minnie at Disney?
That was Alex.
Yeah, that's gonna be so fun.
That was 4-year-old Alex. She walked in. We walked to the front gate of Disney World. We went down on Main Street, and here comes Minnie. And Alex dropped to her knees, put her hands over her face, and said, "Minnie."
Oh, cute.
Great memory, though. Just a phenomenal memory. It really is. And I hope all 4-year-old little kids love Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse, right? The wonderful thing.
I feel like after hearing your guys' stories about little kids going to these things, I've decided I'm just going to pay a teenager to dress up as Go-Go's favorite character and send it straight to the house and save me about $5,000 instead of going to Disney World.
At least 5,000. At least.
5,000.
Yeah,
Did I lowball it?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
we used to live in Orlando, so we at least had the advantage of, having it like right nearby, so we didn't have to pay to travel there. But like, Tommy, didn't you take the whole crew down there recently?
Everybody.
And I know
we're
Rudy,
going again this year. We go every year.
Yeah.
We go every year. We did we got treated to that tour. We had a tour guide the whole time we went last year, which it's amazing seeing the backstage stuff and all that. It's really, really cool.
Oh, sure.
No doubt about it. But Catherine and I, one of our favorite times is when I first met Catherine. She was like 22 and I'm 29 or something like that. We went to Disney World, and it was very cold for Orlando. It was not. She had to wear a stocking cap, and we had to put jackets on. We literally had Disney World to ourselves. Like we went on the Haunted Mansion ride 7 times in a row because there was nobody else around. It was wonderful.
I just put this together. Tom, you're a Disney adult.
No, what's a Disney adult? It all depends on what that is.
Like, it's the people who are adults that are very into Disney.
I love Disney World.
I know. You're a Disney adult, but, like, you just aren't one of the annoying ones.
Oh, don't get over the top. Look, here's another example of why I love Disney World so much. Dan and Alex went down there, I believe, on their honeymoon, or it was their engagement or something like that. And Alex is walking along. She looks, they're going to have a little dinner at the Japanese restaurant. And she looks over, and there's Paul McCartney. I mean, for Alex, that was a very huge deal. She loved Paul McCartney. You know, I mean, it's these wonderful things happen at Disney World that don't happen anywhere else. It's really
cool. I saw
cool.
Dr. J there random.
There you go.
Same experience that Alex had.
One of my
interchangeable.
Favorites. It is. No, I agree with you.
I looked and I'm like, I think Dr. J just walked by.
A little taller than you?
A little bit, but he's not that tall by today's standards.
No, that's true, yeah.
Does Disney have not like an area, like celebs have to be in the main Disney area, or do they have like their own experience? I guess they must. Oh, their own experience.
You know that Elvis Presley used to rent it out after it closed at night? He would rent out all of Disney World.
Now that would be fun.
Yeah. There was a couple times when we were down there just recently that at the end of the night, they were like, all right, we pack it up at 6 o'clock. And then there were people walking in. And I'm like, what's up with everybody walking in? And then somebody said, like a company will rent out the park for its employees. And then they just have free reign of the park all night.
God, it's wonderful.
How awesome would that be?
That'd be awesome.
It is the best. And another thing I tell you, I've had the experience. I've never run into any pricks at Disney World. Everybody's in a great mood, having a good time. I'm sure it happens that somebody's an asshole, but I've never seen it.
Gaston, I'm sure, is not pleasant.
Gaston.
Yeah. Gaston. You know, I didn't know this, that if you throw something away at the Disney, like if you throw something in the trash, they don't have people that come around and take the trash bags out of the actual trash cans, right? It all goes down in a chute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the reason they do that is because Disney does not want its customers to be seeing these giant piles of garbage.
Right.
When you walk around the state fair, I took a photo of the state fair of a trash can that was so gross. In fact, I was with Dave Dahl, and Dave Dahl and I were walking past this trash can. And I took a photo of it. It was overwhelmed with the amount of trash and old like corn cobs and stuff just sitting out. Nobody picked it up, and I'm like, this is why I hate the state fair. But Disney, no, they got it right. And there's this name for it. It's called like the Disney receptacle, and it's this giant like series of tubes that you throw trash down, and it all goes to the same spot. It's amazing.
Be careful with your retainer then, because I have gone through many of trash bins for my retainer.
Oh God. I do have one very negative story from last year, though. No, it's 2 years ago. We went to Disney World, just got there, walked through the front gate, and as you walk down Main Street, that first left over the bridge takes you to Fantasyland or what?
Magic Kingdom? I don't know. I guessed.
No, you're already in the Magic Kingdom,
okay.
But you're walking down Main Street and you take that first left. There's a big restaurant right there in the corner. I can't remember. You walk over to it's Frontierland or some damn thing. It doesn't matter. But we just got there having a great time. We're all excited. It's like, everybody's fired up. I look over, and it was all ruined in one glance. You know what ruined it? Because I had no idea they were going to be there.
The mirror?
Oh, God, you're hilarious. Funny, man. But in any case, it was Pat Ebert's.
What?
No way.
He had no idea we were going. I had no idea.
He would ruin Disney World.
He ruined Disney World for me. I'm telling you.
He ruined the Hubbard cruise for me. I'm just gonna say it.
Did he?
He just anywhere he is, he just ruins it for me.
He just ruins it. Well, that'll happen, I suppose.
He does crack me up though. As the older I get, I go, oh man, I kind of love a good Pat Eberts.
Oh, Pat.
It's a whole mood to be hanging out with Pat Eberts.
He's a different kind of guy. There's
He's
no question
a different
about it.
kind of guy.
There's no doubt about it. All right, Chris, you got to get back to work, man. It's already.
I gotta
oh,
go.
my
I gotta
God.
go pay some more bills. All right, you guys.
All right, Pally. Thank you.
Bye.
Chris Egert, Channel 5 Eyewitness News. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. You gotta get that or not?
Yes.
It's about time to get off your ass.
Money talks. That's what I always hear.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, stream the Tom Barnard Show on the app or on the website and listen for at least 1 hour a day and be entered to win a pair of tickets to Pink and Pat Benatar in concert at Target Field on August 10th. Listen to our show on the stream for an hour each day and win. Tickets are compliments of Killebrew Old Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda. We'll take a break. Be right back in just a couple of minutes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Schatzko with mnfatloss.com, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, go online to mnfatloss.com.
If you're interested in losing weight, I highly recommend the MN Fat Loss Program. I started the program earlier this year. I've lost 28 pounds. Honestly, it's been easy. I don't have to exercise. I eat delicious real food, and I'm not hungry. I recommend the program to anyone wanting to lose weight.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 763-312-7600 or schedule online at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com.
Dr. Adam Schatzko, D.C. Results may vary.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
8:54 now, it's 6 minutes till 9 o'clock here on the Tom Barnard Morning Show. There's a Reddit section called Does Anybody Else, where people list weird things they do and ask if other people do them as well. Someone went through they kind of cherry-picked the best ones. Here are a few you've probably done before but never mentioned. When you have to spell the word Wednesday, do you sound it out in your head as Wednesday? No.
I do.
It's Wednesday. It's not just Wednesday. It's Wednesday. That's how you pronounce it through your nose, actually.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, but they're talking about spelling it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how to spell Wednesday, don't you?
Yeah, I say Wednesday.
I say Wednesday.
So like
And
those
spell
people do
it.
too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I just say Wednesday because, that it is what it is. Do you ever come across a distinct smell that takes you back to a vague childhood memory, but you can't put your finger on what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. What would that be? Like what?
There's a perfume my Aunt Jen,
Oh, okay.
my great Aunt Jen used to wear that, like, once in a while I'll smell it somewhere and be like, oh.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a nice, I mean, you liked her, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I loved it. I love when I smell it. I get all excited, and then I find myself being, like, really near that person, and I'm like, sorry, I'm weird, but...
What is it, Evening in Paris?
Something. I have no idea. I've never nailed it. And, like, the thing is, I think if I ever bought it, it would lose its, like, association. So, yeah.
There you have it. Number 3, do you ever bump into something and say, ouch, even though it didn't hurt?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, why would you say ouch if it doesn't hurt?
I think it's kind of like a weird response. I don't know. I've definitely done that. Like, ouch. That didn't really.
Just go, God damn. You do that.
God damn.
See, right there. This is nice.
Oh, what?
When you pee and it's totally clear, do you ever feel proud of yourself for being hydrated? What?
Super proud of myself. But keep in mind, in the military, we'd have to pee in a cup and then hold it over our head in front of the whole formation to, like, show that we're not, like, dosing or changing the pee or trading. So you'd have to hold it up so everyone would see your pee, and then we'd make fun of anyone who had dark pee.
I've always had dark pee, and I'm not a drug addict.
Are you not drinking enough water?
I drink tons of water.
But that's probably not true, because I'm sure there's something like maybe it could be even like a vitamin you take that could change.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point. Yeah, vitamins do change the color of your pee.
They
That's
do
true.
be changing the color of your pee
That's
for sure.
true.
But
You're right.
we were so juvenile in the military, we'd make fun of people for any reason. And one of them was, oh, look at, Johnson's pee is all dark. Oh, drink water, nerd. Like,
You literally spent time doing that.
yeah, I mean, that's how juvenile we were, like 19-year-olds.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Hanging
that's
out
a good
looking
point.
for any reason to make fun of anyone.
That is a good point, no question. Are you ever driving behind the same car for a really long time, then they take an exit and you feel kind of sad that they're... No, I don't feel sad when you exit the highway.
Yeah, you BFF a car.
The
You
hell
never
do
BFF
I
a
care?
car? Do you ever, where you go behind them long enough where you start making up, like, you try to make, like,
No.
words out of their license plates? Like,
No.
sentences?
Hmm.
No?
I got to read the whole thing. Are you ever behind the same car for a really long time, then they take the exit and you feel kind of sad they're gone, like you've formed a slight bond?
Yeah, you're BFFing.
Get a life, for Christ's sake.
We're, like, on the same journey, and then you're like, oh, never mind.
God.
I do that with running, too. Like, if I'm running the same pace, and I think that person knows, and then if they stop, I'll be like, hey, great run. And they're like, please don't talk to me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so lonely. I'm alone all the time.
Why do they not want you to talk to them?
Because they're like, whoa, I think that they know we're running together kind of feel.
Oh, okay.
But then I realize I've formed a whole relationship in my head. And then when I acknowledge said relationship, it's weird for them because they were just living their lives. Yeah, no, it happens to me all the time. Like, if I go to the same workout class as somebody, I think we've become friends, and we have not.
Really?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
What do you do when you run into somebody at the gym, like constantly, like 3 times a week, but then you see them at Target?
Oh, say hi.
Oh, never. Oh, weird. Oh, I try to lose eye contact and get away.
But Rudy, that describes us to a T, which is so funny. Like, I want to BFF everybody in my life. I want to, like, feel like connected all the time. And then you're like, this is all about business. We're here for
Stuff
a
to
reason.
do. Yeah.
When you think a song or a movie is amazing, but then you show it to someone else and suddenly feel self-conscious, like it's not really that great, we don't have to. And once again, why would I care if you didn't like a movie I liked?
Oh,
I don't care.
It totally hurts my feelings.
Really?
Like, it's a part of me, for sure.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Why do you care?
It's an extension of you. If they don't like the thing that you like, now all of a sudden what you like is wrong.
Oh, it happened so bad the other day.
Really?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Do you remember that old movie from with Steve Martin and Michael Caine?
Right.
Justin loves that movie, grew up with that movie. And he was like, you got to watch it. We were watching it. And I was like, Justin, this is kind of dumb. Like, this is pretty dumb. And he was like, hurt. Absolutely hurt.
Really?
Absolutely feelings hurt that I did not like this movie.
Because Catherine has her shows and movies, and I got my shows and movies, and then we have ones we like together.
You're such a liar because if you...
What are you talking? I'm such a liar.
Because if I told you I didn't like something that you love, if I was to say, God, what's the one you were just talking about? The actor that you said was the best actor.
Marlon Brando?
Yeah, if I said Marlon Brando is a hack.
I don't care what you think.
Wouldn't it hurt your feelings a little?
No. It's a person, I've never understood people that, oh, well, why don't you like what I like? I don't care if you like it or not. I couldn't care less.
Aretha Franklin sucks.
Yeah, okay, well, then now you stepped over the line, goddamn. Don't be messing with Aretha. That's all I'm saying. Now I know I hate you.
Show some R-E-S-P-E-C-T, okay?
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
See? Something got something
No,
there.
but I'm not going to carry it over. It's like I know you did that on purpose. So, no, I don't care if people like the same things I do. I don't care at all. Let's see. When you flush the toilet but don't get a full flush, so you have to stand there and wait for the tank to refill. Again, so what? This is all you got. These things are the things you worry about in your life. Really.
No, I think it's the things that we realize everyone else does. And you think is just your little weird thing, and then you go, oh, other people do that too.
The only thing I don't like is like if I run down to the men's room and somebody's at the urinal and I go into one of the stalls to pee and there's still poop in the toilet.
Yeah, so do you wait?
I'm not big on that.
You have to wait around to make sure everything flushes, right? Like that's
what I do.
Yeah. You ever have that moment where you just don't trust an automatic flusher, so you just like get involved in the button?
There's a button.
Yeah,
there's a button.
I feel like I always am getting involved with the button. Like I'm always like, I don't trust you to walk. Like I want to walk away. I want to feel like it's gonna work, but I'm always like, you know what?
No, I know.
Back to the button.
Just a couple more, ladies and gentlemen. Judd, you want to get involved in the last few?
I love this. Absolutely.
I couldn't care less about any of this stuff. I don't get so involved with approval from people I barely know. I don't need your approval. Leave me alone.
Oh, that's a really weird one, too, especially like on politics. Like on politics, I don't care if you don't agree. And I'm not going to try to change your opinion, though.
No.
That's my thing is, again, I'm like you. It's just like, okay, whatever.
I mean,
why would I waste my time trying to change your opinion of something? Especially when, politics and religion, you're not going to change it. So,
why do you care? Why do you, somebody wants to vote the way they want? I don't care. Good for you. It's America.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you on this.
No,
totally.
It's just bizarre that people get so wound up about, oh, you're one of those. Shut up, for Christ's sake.
And the flusher on a toilet is there for a reason. The automatic thing is if you're a thoughtless lout that hopefully your poop gets flushed down.
I love it.
But like if you walk away like, oh, the automatic flusher will take care of it, give me a break. There's a reason why 100+ years ago somebody created the ability to push a button or before, take a handle and just move it a little bit to flush the toilet.
I don't know why it's so tough, but people get so touchy about. I'm going to save number 8 for last because it's so ridiculous.
Okay, I'm excited.
There are 10 things, but number 8 is completely ridiculous. Do you ever put on a sock, spot a hole in it, decide it's the last time you'll wear the socks, but then forget and wash them again and repeat the process? No, I've never done that.
Yeah, I've done
Have
that.
you?
Justin does that all the time. He's like, last time I'm going to wear these, and there's like a giant gaping hole. And I'm
Really?
like, I see it for another month. I have to throw out his stuff because he will not do it. I think he's like, one more round.
Well, it's uncomfortable to have a big hole in your sock in your shoe, isn't it?
I do not like, I have to have pristine socks. And
There you go.
I can't even, like, I have a specific feel I want. I get really touchy with my socks.
Well, that might be a little far over to the other side from your husband, but
yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't have holes in my. If I see a hole, you're gone.
Judd, are you a holy sock guy?
No. Now, I do have this problem at times with shirts, and Dawn has thrown away some of my most beloved and probably by that point disgusting shirts. If you're attached to socks, something's wrong with you.
I agree completely.
Like if you're like, I can't let this pair. I mean, I understand that guys and I am guilty of, as the next person, of falling in love with certain clothes.
Yeah.
But socks should not be one that you ever.
I think you just always think it's your last rodeo, and then you just keep forgetting that you should have thrown that out. It's like a muscle memory thing, that instead of taking them off and throwing them out, you just like continuously wash them and go, why am I keep wearing these? But one more time. They're the clean ones. I'm out the door. Bye.
So why would you wash a sock with a hole in it?
Because it's just like you forget to break up your routine.
Oh, I see. So it's just in the basket?
Yeah, you just kind of put it in the basket.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't put it in the basket either. Just throw it away.
I think that is smart. I think that is what we should do. But I think routine just kicks in.
Well, probably. Have you ever spent 30 minutes writing an email that ended up being 2 sentences? No.
Absolutely.
Never.
Absolutely, I have.
I was trying to think of the last time I sent an email. I send texts, but not emails.
I literally have a pending email right now.
Oh, do you?
Yes, that I'm sending that I don't know how to word, and I'll eventually ask Justin or my sister to read through it first.
Why don't you just pay your bills?
I refuse to. I'm above that.
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't you just go ahead and read it on the air right now, and then we will determine.
I'd love to hear this.
We'll judge right now.
No.
Let's hear what's the subject, or like what's the person that it's aimed to?
It's about school. I'll say that.
You know what, though? I'll tell you this right now, because you have a daughter who's at that age, because I know school is a few years off, but this is the time. I get it. If it is something about, it's tough because you don't realize it as a parent. If your daughter's about to go into kindergarten and you show up 6 weeks before kindergarten is going to start, it's not like back in the day. You have to show up 3 years before your daughter goes to kindergarten to get a spot for that kindergarten class.
I appreciate the empathy, but it's actually for school for me.
Oh, gotcha.
But I do appreciate that empathy of like knowing that that whole world. Your friend actually introduced me to that whole world, which is terrifying. Your friend Rachel, because she owns a Montessori school, and I was like, should my kid be learning already? Like terrified.
Yeah.
Should my kid be learning already? I hope so.
Right? Like
I hope they're
we're just
learning.
working on basics. She's learned how to drink out of a straw. Like, should I also be teaching her everything? Like, from me?
Okay, this is the worst of them. I have not agreed with one of these so far, so what are you going to do? But this is the worst of them all.
All right.
When your pet is on your lap and you need to get up, do you ever try to explain to your pet, like, I have to go get a drink, but don't leave, I'm coming back?
I know you've done this, and you don't even realize. You've never talked to Jude like that.
I've never said, I'll be right back.
Okay, not I'll be right back. But have you ever had to explain to him, like, hey, I got to disturb your sleep for a second? I've seen you talk to Jude like this.
When he's on Catherine's lap, not mine. Because if Catherine's around, she is the king and queen of the world to him.
I've seen you explain to your dog that Catherine is leaving, but she will be back.
Oh, God. You ever been around Jude when she leaves? Oh, my God, he's disgusting.
Devastation.
It's like, Jesus.
He'll get so desperate, he'll actually be like, you're my mom now to me. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Yep,
Oh, it's
I
got to
am
be a
your
woman,
mom.
too. It cannot be a man. It has to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very touchy about it. He is so attached to Catherine, it's ridiculous.
That's so cool.
But, so am I, so we both just sit there and pant.
You just both cry at the airport.
We pant and cry. That's exactly right. So, Judd, we didn't have a baseball game to worry about last night. That was good.
Thank God. Yes, exactly. I was very happy about that.
Me too. Judd, how did they get swept by the second worst team in baseball? Again.
And a team that is on, track for one of the worst records in the 162 game season, which started in the early 60s. I can't explain it. Like, it's such a lifeless group of dead ass players. And every time when you think, you know what, there might be something here, they sweep the A's, for instance,
right.
which they're a terrible team too. But, you're like, okay, there might be something here. There might be something to at least get, to your point, for months now, mildly excited about. You just want them to give you some reason for excitement. But that was, if there's sort of a stamp on the 2023 season for the Twins, Tom, that was it. Because, that is absolutely disgusting. Now, I do hope that this clears up any temptation to trade to help this team, because this team doesn't deserve help now.
No,
and
it doesn't.
The deadline's 5 o'clock Central Time today. So I do hope that the one thing that this did was send a message from the players to the front office: don't bother, because this team does not deserve it. Now, but did you see what Cleveland did yesterday?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So this division, so Cleveland entered yesterday a half a game back. A half a game back. And they traded, I'm not kidding you, a pitcher by the name of Aaron Savali, who's their best pitcher, to Tampa Bay for a big-time first base prospect. So Cleveland basically saw the Twins get swept and said, screw this, we don't want this division. We got no interest. So they traded away their best pitcher yesterday.
God, that's weird. I mean, for a prospect.
Yes.
Because the kid hadn't proven anything yet, right?
No, he is a minor league first baseman who was really good a year ago and has not been as good, but he's still seen as having a good bat. So there's thought that he will come up eventually at some point, next year, I don't know, and help them offensively. But the fact is, Cleveland basically said, we don't want this division. This is as embarrassed as I've ever been, I think, for a division in any sport that I've actually watched a lot.
I agree.
The Central Division. So Cleveland is essentially saying to the Twins, you take it, we don't want it. And the Twins just got done in Kansas City saying, no, you don't understand. We don't want it either. Someone has to win it, but it's a complete joke.
It is a complete, whoever wins it's not going to go anywhere anyway, so good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a heartbreaker for me because they started off so well this year. The beginning of this season was pretty damn good, I thought.
It was 10-4, right?
Yeah.
I think they were 10-4 at one point. So, yes. And after that, it has just been, it's either been a gong show, which it was at Kansas City, or it's been this roller coaster. Every time that you think, they're starting to get things right, they fall apart. And explain this. So, Carlos Correa hitting leadoff coming out of the All-Star break actually looked like he was finally starting to emerge offensively, right? And I think it's the last 6 games, he has just fallen off the face of the earth again.
Yep.
He has done nothing. And he is on track for, I think statistically, easily his worst year. But you can't win with that. He's a great shortstop, but his bat has the inconsistency is just unbelievable from a guy making, $36 million?
Yeah. Now, is it Falvey? Is it Rocco? Is it both of them? Something's really off here.
I think it's both of them.
Yep,
I
do
don't
too.
know that the poll ads will pull the plug on both. I don't think that they will. But it's both of them. And the construction of this team, I was talking about this on our SKOR North Twin show with Phil and Declan yesterday. But, part of it is too, Tom, and this is not the first time, I don't think they have any feel for the actual people they're signing. Because this team is the latest collection where it just doesn't seem there's anything there. There's no leader. There's no personality. Correa's supposed to be, but he's not. But to go back again, old man yelling at clouds, to our day, 87 and 91 had Herbeck. It had Puckett. In 87, Gaetti. And that's what I was trying to ask Kent about when I talked to him a couple of Fridays ago on your show. You go back to those teams and the character of those teams, not just the players as far as being good, but, a guy like Puck, the character of that team was off the charts. There is nobody like that now to walk into the clubhouse and say, this BS ends tonight. So you're right. It's both Falvey and Rocco, but I don't think they have the intestinal fortitude at the end of the season to fire both. They're going to need, I think, to fire Rocco just to do something, Yeah.
See, that makes total sense to me. But I will tell you, it just breaks my heart when they start out nice and hot and everything's looking good and then you just fall apart. And then you get swept by the second worst team in baseball. It's getting much worse. I literally thought they had a good chance in the playoffs after the first month of the season. I really did.
Why not? Yeah, you're right. Why not? The pitching looked good. They started hot. Yes, I think after the first month, it looked like it was a terrible division that they could win by 10 games.
Yes.
We had a listener email, and I wanted me to ask you, Judd. This is from Chad. Ask Judd if the Twins are really considering trading Sonny Gray.
I hope so. I have been saying yes. He is going to walk away as a free agent. He clearly doesn't like it here, I think. So why not trade him? Get something back. Because if he walks away, it's a long, involved process. But if he walks away and has what's called a qualifying offer, the Twins will get a compensatory draft pick. But I would prefer to get people right now, players, even if it's prospects, and then call up the Varland kid from St. Paul or Dallas Keuchel. Like, what's the point in allowing a guy to walk away? So you're going to keep Gray on what has been an absolute disappointing team that might get to the playoffs, but if they do, they got no chance. Like, it's a complete joke. And the other thing is, as I said, you go get players. You go get Don Baylor in '87 to reward the clubhouse, right?
Phenomenal.
Right? But good job, guys. You've done a great job. Now here's a bat. Here is a guy with postseason experience. Here is a guy who is going to be the quintessential pro. That's a reward. This team doesn't deserve a reward.
No.
This team deserves nothing.
I cannot argue with one thing you're saying. I am really disappointed in them, and they just don't seem to be even trying to get better.
Yeah, this weekend pissed me off.
Yep, it did.
It just pissed me off.
We have to take a break. Be right back in a couple more minutes. Judd will be with us till, 38?
Yes, sir.
I love it. Judd Zuldgad, ladies and gentlemen, right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. We are back. Judd Zuldgad with us, ladies and gentlemen, just talking about what a failure the Twins are, and now we can move on because football starts up 2 days from now, the first preseason game. Do you believe that?
The Hall of Fame game is the biggest waste of time, though, in the history. It used to be the Pro Bowl, which they finally canceled for a skills competition type of thing. But I saw a promo. I think it's the Jets playing, I forget whom, but it was the starting quarterbacks, right? So Aaron Rodgers, you will never see them in that game. They will not be playing. So, but yeah, the Vikings were in full pads and for the first time, so they started training camp practice last Wednesday, but they were in full pads for the first time on Monday. They'll be back in full pads today, and their first preseason game is, I think, a week from Saturday or a week from Friday.
Yeah,
so,
something like that, yeah.
It's here. You're right. It's here.
The only negative news there is that means that winter can't be far behind if the football season's starting.
I do like fall, though.
I do, too.
I do like fall.
I love fall.
You know, I mean, I'm with you. January or so, it gets to be like enough, especially into February. But I will say my favorite season when I was young was probably spring, right? You're sitting outside in a patio, drinking some beers. Now, I think I'm a fall person. I like fall.
I understand.
Cool but comfortable. Yeah. Don't mind it at all.
I certainly understand that, and that's the part of the football season I do love. Those fall games are fantastic.
Yes, exactly. Now, did you grow up ever going to Gopher football games as a kid?
Not as a kid, no.
At the old stadium?
I went to my first one when I was like probably 20, 21, something like that.
Okay, because I didn't see a game there at the old stadium on campus. I got to think that would have been fun.
It was great. That was great. One of my favorite parts is the very first game I went to. Julie Perlt was the stadium announcer.
Okay.
Julie was phenomenal. And he always said, the Minnesota Gophers are on the 25-yard line, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. But so the stadium announcer, Julie Perlt, we're sitting there, and there's this pause, and you see this little thing hopping across the field because it was, an open-air stadium. And one of the ends of the stadium was open as well. It was horseshoe-shaped. And there was a pause, and all of a sudden you heard, there's a squirrel on the field. Just the way he said it was brilliant. It was just wonderful.
Didn't he used to tease fans by, giving the score backwards or something? There was something I recall that he was famous for, and it was basically an antagonistic thing, but it was pretty funny.
Oh, he was great. That whole era, Christensen. Ray Christensen. He was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I loved listening to Gopher football games with him calling it. I mean, CCO back in the day was a legendary radio station. It really was.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard now for people who were born probably, in the last 40 years or so to get that. Because, I mean, CCO was the be-all, end-all at one time.
You had the Gophers, had the Twins. I mean, did they used to carry the football games? Because I remember the first time around at KSTP, the Vikings were on 1500 KSTP.
Yes, they were. So I think CCO started carrying the Vikings when they came here in '61. At some point, though, like you said, they lost them to KSTP in the early '70s. And then I think they went back to CCO, and then around '84, they actually went to, and I think it was 2 or 3 years, on KS95. Joe McConnell did the play-by-play.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That was the era I begged the people to get the Vikings. When I was at KQRS in the middle of the whole thing, if we had gotten the Vikings, that station would have never lost. They would have had a 50 share.
I always was expecting that, too.
No, me too. They just wouldn't do it, though. They would not. This is a music station. I said, we have a talk morning show. Why can't we play a football game every Sunday?
No kidding.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Did they listen to your show?
I know. It's just so weird. But they just wouldn't do it. They would not do it. Never understood that.
And plus, it's a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly. Who cares? Right?
It's not the Twin. It's not like you said, go get the Twins and preempt your music. It's a Sunday afternoon. But I always thought KQ, especially in that era, would have absolutely crushed it, and it also would have been fun.
Oh God, it would have been an absolute ball. Plus the fact an automatic audience because we had the highest rated morning show in America.
Yes.
There were tons of fans.
I love that line. We're a music station. Do you listen to my show? Said Tom Bernard.
I know. It's like, what are you talking about? But that's the part of radio I've never understood. Management F's up things so many ways, so many times, it's unbelievable.
Well, and to your point, too, during the time that you're talking about as well, like you weren't just a talk show in the morning. You did a ton of sports. Like it's hard now to get this, but I mean your thing with Mark turned into I thought at that point in time I thought that was the biggest sports talk segments.
Yeah, that broke the show big. That did break the show. Marky Rosen was great to work with. I was so sad when they took him away.
You ran a guy for governor, and he got a ton of votes.
He got 30,000 votes or something like that. He got a lot of votes. Those were fun days, man. That was back in the day, no doubt about it.
Yeah, in fact, I just found it. There's a chapter in Mark's book devoted to that entire time.
Oh, is there really?
His time on KQ, his love for you, being taken away. When again to your point, CCO came in and said, "Well, if you're that popular on KQ, we got to have you." But of course, by then CCO was a different thing, so it wasn't going to be the same. It wasn't like all of the 18 and 19-year-old guys who liked your show were going to bail on Tom Bernard to go to CCO to hear a sports segment with poor Mark and Sid Hartman. So.
And it didn't last that. And by the way, I was a huge fan of Sid Hartman as well.
Yeah.
Sid and I loved Sid. He leaned heavily favoring the teams. There's no doubt about that. But that was Sid. You expected it from Sid, right?
Exactly. No, I'm just saying at that point in time, your show was, hip and popular, and it made Mark more in that spectrum. And then I think CCO's management mistakenly thought, well, if he's popular on KQ, we'll get all those high school kids to go to WCCO.
Oh,
it's like, that's not how it works, management.
But they never know. I mean, very rare. I've worked for a couple of good managers, but that's it. About a couple out of the 50 that I've worked with.
Our place now is well run. I will say that. Like
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Dan and Amy? I can't be nice to them. Forget it.
Well, and Ginny as well. Let's be very clear. It starts at the top. Hi, Ginny. It starts at the top.
We love you, Ginny.
Little ass kissing going on here on the show.
The fact that you ran a local TV anchor for the governor position, and it became this huge thing, is one of the great media college class things that can be taught, especially from that time period. I don't think it works now. I don't think you could do it because it's so fractured and fragmented. But my God, that was absolutely nuts.
Remember the song the guy sent in? A guy wrote a song for his campaign, and it ended, Mark Rosen for governor. It's like really all sweet.
And didn't you guys, I don't know if this came in from a listener or it was commissioned by you, but didn't you guys have a Rawhide ripoff? Rosen,
little Marky Rosen. That was written by Dan Culhane, as a matter of fact. Dan was another guy. I loved working with Dan Culhane. He ended up losing him a couple of years ago. What a nice man he was.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. I got very lucky over at that station. Most of the people I worked with over there were very, very pleasant people.
And that station was great.
It was back in the day, and then, of course, they sold it, and they effed it up totally. But other than that, it's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of things have been sold.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed.
A lot of places have changed, Tom. The Star Tribune went from, the Coles family, and it was just beyond reproach, right?
Yeah, that's true.
To McClatchy, which drove it into bankruptcy. So, yeah, I'm familiar with missteps of going from family or good ownership to hedge fund like complete chaos.
Yeah, and that's what's going on. It's been going on for about the last 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe 10 years. Yeah.
And newspapers are a mess. Now the Strib is owned by Glenn Taylor, who, despite his shortcomings with the Wolves, actually has been a great businessman. Like, he's been great for the paper.
Oh, okay.
But these papers now, like the Chicago Tribune and Pioneer Press, they're owned by hedge funds who just try and bleed them dry. That's one of the saddest things, because that's why these papers are rail thin now, and their staff is a mere fraction of what it used to be, especially a place like the Chicago Tribune, which was, just one of the great papers.
It wasn't. You talk about some great columnists. That newspaper. Look, Star Tribune and Pioneer Press had great columnists. There's no question. Souchere and Royce were at both places, exchanging positions at one point. No, the Star Tribune was a must-see every day back in the day. And then, as you said, they sucked all the money out of it, the ownership, and destroyed it.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what happened. That's what's happening in radio now. It's going to happen. It's going to eventually happen to local TV stations. I mean, that's one thing about working with Hubbard. You don't have to worry about that because they're not that kind of people.
That's why podcasts and streaming are where it's at.
No, it is. It's true. It's early. It's still very, very early in this business, but it's going to completely take over. There's no question.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely,
what are you going to do? So any other sports things you want to talk about? We got about 7 minutes left, so I'm going to get you out on time.
I appreciate that. Phil does too. No, the Vikings starting, and we'll know. Well, we won't know a lot more. We will have more to talk about, I guess is the best way to frame it, after they play a game or two in the preseason. But with the way that the Twins are going, thank God we have something else to at least sort of divert our attention, right?
Exactly.
We've got something else. So that's the one thing is seasons are approaching where we could basically just put the Twins on the back burner.
Yeah.
And I guess forget about them until if they do make the playoff. I'm very torn here. I don't know. Like, there's a very good chance they're going to be in the playoffs, but I can't get excited about it.
No.
I'm watching football practice now. That's what I'm doing.
How about my Gopher Football Club? Is that looking like anything this year?
I don't know yet. It's hard to tell, but I will say this. If they're ever going to make the Big Ten championship game, which has existed now for how long? 15 years, 12 years? I don't know. If they're ever going to do it, they have to do it this year because USC and UCLA are joining the Big Ten. I'm not bleeping you next season, and they're going to put the whole conference instead of divisions because the Big Ten West, which the Gophers are in, is not good. Like, it doesn't have Ohio State. It doesn't have Michigan.
Right.
But next year, Tom, they're going to put the whole Big Ten back together. And the top two teams are going to the Big Ten championship game. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm 53 right now. I will be dead before the Gophers ever finish top two in a Big Ten that's together.
I would have to agree with you, pal. It was so hard. I mean, look, as far as paying any attention to sports whatsoever, and that was because my friend Dave Anderson got me involved, watching sports when I was 8, 9 years old, something like that. And the Gophers won the the Gopher football team won the national championship in 60 or 61?
Yep.
I can't remember which year it was, but I was either 8 or 9 years old, and I will never forget that. And they have not won one since.
No?
Not even come close.
They haven't been to a Rose Bowl since then.
So what's going to happen first? Them end up in the top two, or the Eden Prairie light rail finishes? Which one's going to happen first?
Tough call.
Eden Prairie.
All right.
They're not going to they're never getting back to that game, are they?
They haven't been to the Rose Bowl since then. The last time they were eligible for the Rose Bowl, I'm not bleeping you, was 67, and I think there was a 3-way tie, and at that point in time, the team that tied that hadn't been to the Rose Bowl in the longest period went, and at that point, the Gophers had been there, I think, 5 years before, which is what you're talking about. So the Gophers didn't go. So they have not been to the Rose Bowl since the early 60s. And this,
60 years.
I don't know what to say.
60 years,
yes.
That is.
Yes, my guess is the only Brittany's daughter has a chance to see if something happens in the course of her lifetime, them finish top two in a consolidated Big Ten. But I don't think anyone currently on the screen has a chance, and that's saying something.
That's saying something.
No, I think you are right, though. I just don't see any of these teams being any good ever. I just don't. I mean, that good. They can be good, but to be that good is a different story. I used to go watch the Gopher baseball team play a lot. They haven't won a whole hell of a lot either.
Did you?
Oh, I still love watching those guys play.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Oh, I did. I still am a huge baseball fan, as you know. But it's, well, I mean, look at the Vikings. Last time in the Super Bowl was, what, 45 years ago?
Yeah. Was it the 76 season, January of 77?
Yep. So look, 45 years, 46 years almost. Well, it is 46
remarkable.
years. What the hell happens to this place? We got all the money in the world. Minnesota is one of the wealthiest states in the entire United States, right? Per capita, of course. But we have all the money, we have all the exposure, we have all the people, but we just don't do anything with it ever. Why?
I don't know how you have a streak now where of the 4 men's professional teams we follow, there has not been not just a championship, there has not been a appearance in a final since the 91 Twins. Because the North Stars went to the 91 Stanley Cup Finals, but that was spring.
Yep.
So October of 91 was the last time any of those 4 teams, forget a championship, has been to a title so that they could, or a title series so they could possibly win a championship.
And then we just keep watching. Well, I shouldn't say we. I'll take the full blame. I still watch the games. I don't know why the hell I do. I have no idea why I do. Why do I torture myself?
Same reason I do. Something's wrong with us, but we don't know exactly what, so we just keep watching.
Just keep moving forward.
I'm the same way, man. I'm guilty as you are.
Maybe. But I've been saying maybe now for, like I said, 45, 50, 60 years, some of these teams. I've been saying, any day now. It's never going to be any day. It's not going to happen.
Sadly, I don't disagree with you. I'd love to say you're wrong. I see something. I see a championship just over the horizon. I can't disagree with you.
Only Minnesota, where many people claim hockey was invented in northern Minnesota, only Minnesota could be 0 for 0 for 0 in any hockey championship, other than college level, I suppose. I'm talking professional.
Yep.
How can we have never won the Stanley Cup? How is that possible?
Don't forget, Tom, we lost our first team.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if you were to handicap the odds of, okay, here's a bunch of hockey states or a bunch of states with teams. Who's going to have their team relocate? And not just relocate, but relocate to Dallas, Texas, right?
Yep.
St. Louis, Los Angeles, and it ends up being Minnesota.
I know.
That's one of the most remarkable things. And I know there were odd circumstances, but what's now known as the state of hockey actually lost its first team.
They did. And I'll never understand why. Sports in this area is just, all right, I'll stop complaining because you got to go anyway.
All right, we'll talk tomorrow and recap a trade deadline in which I'm hoping the Twins trade at least one of their starting pitchers, and it's Sonny Gray.
It is Sonny Gray. You want Sonny Gray to go?
I want Sonny Gray traded. Yeah,
he's kind of
something for him.
Yeah,
he's regressed too.
Yeah, he's regressed. That's a good way to put it.
All
right, Pally.
See y'all later.
Talk to you later. Talk to you tomorrow. Judd Zuldgad, ladies and gentlemen. SKOR North, of course. I'm going to run down the hall so you guys schmooze amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Do that.
All right. I did see that you put on there. We've talked about this a little about Mattel making new movies because obviously if they make money, they have to make new movies.
Sure.
And I want you to tell me about this one. How would you feel about Barney being made into a scary movie?
Well, they tried this already with Winnie the Pooh.
I don't remember this. I know it was supposed to be like very eerie.
Yeah. So what happened was Winnie the Pooh decided that, I can't even say decided, that there was after 100 years of being on this planet, finally things go open domain and they can be made into whatever they want. Winnie the Pooh was the same way, and there was somebody who found this out at year 99 and a half and said, what would be awesome is a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Did we need it? No. Did anybody watch it? No. Was it a big flaming pile of garbage? I watched like a little bit of it just to see what all the hype was about. I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to it.
Was it scary?
No, it's dumb. It's silly. It's it's campy. We don't need any of this stuff. So the fact that they're taking a version of Barney and then putting it in, they just want name recognition. They do this crap all the time when it comes to what was it? Die Hard.
Yeah.
The last Die Hard movie they put out with Bruce Willis had absolutely nothing to do with John McClane. All they did is at about the hour and 12-minute mark, the bad guy mentioned John McClane's wife, Holly McClane.
To loop
and
it
you're
all
like,
in.
Well, I guess this is they could have. But the thing is I think what happened was they had a movie.
Yes, they
that
had
was
a script. Yeah.
And they were like, we want to sell this thing. However, we don't have any name recognition behind it. You know what we do? We bring in Bruce Willis. We call it a Die Hard thing.
Yes.
We make one mention about Nagasaki Tower and then Holly Gennaro, and then we call it a day.
On top of it, too, what you know about Bruce Willis and how he was filming his last movies, it's like so bleak to think about the lines they were giving him and him not sure if he should be there kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. There was at one point, I had heard that he was sitting at a table eating soup for the scene.
Yeah.
And when the lady walked by, he was like, man, my soup is it's a little cold. Can we get a new one? And they were like, you're not at a restaurant. And he didn't realize he was not at a restaurant. They had no idea he was filming something. So, yeah, when you start hearing stuff like that, do we need the new Barney movie? No. But is Mattel going to make it? And are we going to talk about it because we're doing it right now? Absolutely.
Do you know about this metaverse of Five Nights at Freddy's?
I feel like I've heard this, but I don't know anything about it.
So if you've got like a teenager or someone a little younger than a teen, you may have, like, this might be your whole world because there is this, like, obsession with Five Nights at Freddy's. It's the whole concept is kind of like a circus pizza, or what's ours called? Is it circus
like
pizza?
Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese,
Okay,
thank
sure.
you. Animatronics. It started out as just a video game.
I know what you're talking about.
A very
yes.
basic video game. It was on the iPad. And the whole concept is you work the overnights at like a place where there's animatronics, and you have to make sure they like don't reach you and attack you.
Sure.
Well, they built a whole world around this, and I'm telling you, it is like $1 million industry that nobody I know has heard of unless you're under the age of 12. And people that have Five Nights at Freddy-aholics, that's all they can talk about.
Yeah, my daughter and I were walking down Hennepin Avenue one time, and there was a line out the door to walk into the Pantages, and I looked at the marquee and said, who is, I've never even heard of this person. My daughter goes, oh, they're the biggest thing on YouTube and TikTok. Everybody knows them.
Isn't that funny?
That's crazy that guys like Russell Peters, who's one of the best stand-up comics on the planet, can sell out Aloha Stadium at 70,000 people. And I asked my mom about Russell Peters, and she's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Isn't that wild? I think we're about to, like, I think once in like 5 years, all these little niche things that have secretly been making so much money are going to be so mainstream, and it's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, Tom, if they took Howdy Doody and turned it into a horror movie, would you go see this movie?
I don't think so.
No, see what I mean? Like
I don't think I would.
Stuff from your childhood. I don't need to see a horror version of Barney or Winnie the Pooh or Howdy Doody.
Right.
I don't need any
Do
of
they
those
do
things.
all that?
Well, they did the Winnie the Pooh one, and it sounds
did?
like the
Oh,
Barney one is on the horizon.
Oh, God, yeah. Movies now are horrendous. They're the worst they've ever been. I mean, there's some good ones that come out, but not many.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the movies now are terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell happened. Do we really need 10 animatronic movies out at the same time?
No.
I mean, Jesus, that's all you got?
Isn't it true, too? And then once they kind of, like, step aside from the formula, they find that they can make $1 billion movie, and they're like, oh. But that's the problem. There's still money to be made. They always go back to the well. If there's any money to be made, they just keep going back to that well until we're like, stop. We don't want to go to this.
Yeah.
You know, like the automatically going to these Marvel Universe movies or shows, you're just feeding that machine again and again. And it sucks too, because I know a lot of people have like traditions around Marvel movies and stuff, but it seems just the quality just keeps going down.
Seems like that to me. And in the meantime, streaming is getting better every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Streaming television is fantastic.
It's really hard to get me out of the house to go watch something.
Yeah,
me too.
Because what's the point? I have a great couch. I have, we don't have to get a babysitter. It's hard to give you formally. It has to be an event for me now.
Now, and again, I love going to the movie theater, but it has to be a good movie. I still haven't seen John Wick because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
My God, why did I don't want to watch a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
I like the buck and a half ones.
I did have a lot of fun at the Batman, and that one was about 3 hours, but it didn't feel like it.
Oh, it didn't? Okay.
No, I don't know what it was. And I was pregnant too, and I peed like 4 times during that movie, but like, I loved it. I thought that was so good and worth seeing in theaters. But maybe I was really hard up for entertainment because we didn't really go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I just saw this headline pop up. I don't know what this means.
Oh,
but no, I tell you, you go to the movies. I'd love to go back to the movies, but the movies suck. I do love streaming television.
Asteroid City, did you see that in theaters? Yeah.
No, I saw it at home.
Oh, you saw it at home?
No, I saw it at home, yep.
I thought that maybe you saw that one in theaters because it was so new, but I didn't know it was also at home.
I would love to go. I love sitting in a movie theater watching a movie. The last one I saw was with the kids last Christmas, I believe, Puss in Boots. That was the last one I went to see.
Classic.
So there you go.
Oscar-winning
It was
Puss in
good.
Boots.
Oppenheimer hits a little different if you're Japanese. As such, many of them aren't laughing at those Barbenheimer memes that are mixed Barbie characters with images of an atomic bomb exploding. Yeah, you didn't you reference that the other day, Barbenheimer?
Yes, that was a big thing where people would do both Oppenheimer and Barbie in one day.
But I mean, this has to do with images in a picture. Do you know about that?
Yeah, no, not exactly, but they had a lot of memes. It's like all over the internet right now where they'll like take a meme of like something beautiful and then something dark and call it Barbenheimer, the combo.
Oh, that's what they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Warner Brothers Japan even issued a statement criticizing the official Barbie Twitter account for sharing them. They said, quote, "We take the situation very seriously. We're asking the U.S. headquarters to take appropriate action. We apologize to those who were offended by this series of inconsiderate reactions."
That's so weird. I get that, like, it's still a historical event, Oppenheimer. Nobody's downplaying that.
Right.
But I bet you this is a very small community that would be up in arms about the Barbenheimer combo. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, maybe it's looked at as flippant, but it's hard to imagine that it's still, I mean, this movie itself isn't full of, like, jokes and good times, Oppenheimer.
No, I'm sure it's not, yeah. And that was 80 years ago, correct?
I believe so, right?
Around 80, almost 80 years ago now. That's the whole problem you got. And look, I'm not saying they should have done it. I have no opinion about it. I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't attack other countries.
Yeah.
Because now you don't see, I mean, obviously Russia, that guy's so psychotic, he attacked Ukraine. But it takes psychosis to do that now because they do realize, look what you can get at the end of it.
Yeah.
Keep it up. They could wipe a country off the face of the earth now.
I know.
I mean, that's the whole problem we got here.
Yeah.
So let's not be attacking other countries, shall we?
I love that.
It's just, I don't know, that whole thing, that whole World War II deal. And now, as I've said before, America saved the world from the Nazis. There is no doubt about that America had to step in and get it done, but we're still the biggest shithole on earth, according to people who live here.
There you go.
It just proves you know nothing about, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
But they all have opinions, I guess.
Everyone, right? I mean, and that's so funny to like really get in that mind frame of back then being so terrified that you have trained kids to hide under their desk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God. I mean, if it's going to happen, like, hopefully it'll just happen. We don't have to pretend like hiding under our desk is going to help.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a terrible time that must have been.
We have a break, so I'm going to hide under my desk right now.
Perfect.
We'll be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Schatzko with mnfatloss.com, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, go online to mnfatloss.com.
If you're interested in losing weight, I highly recommend the MN Fat Loss Program. I started the program earlier this year. I've lost 28 pounds. Honestly, it's been easy. I don't have to exercise. I eat delicious real food, and I'm not hungry. I recommend the program to anyone wanting to lose weight.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 763-312-7600 or schedule online at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com.
Dr. Adam Schatzko, D.C. Results may vary.
We are back, 9:53 now, 7 minutes till 10 o'clock. Think back to the last time you were naked. How comfortable were you in the buff? Well, I don't understand that. I took a shower. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
I'm comfortable.
I would hope you were naked in a shower.
Yeah, I was fully clothed. It was unbelievable. Sexual health and wellness practice out of New York just did a nationwide survey asking people across America on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your current level of body confidence in the nude. And basically every state said it's a 4 or a 5 because all the averages are between 4.4 and 5.8. The state where people are most confident without clothes on is Washington.
Oh.
Rhode Island is second, followed by Delaware, Maryland, and Colorado. The state where people are the least confident is a tie between Indiana and Oregon. Nebraska is next, followed by Minnesota.
Nice.
So we're least confident.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
a lot of times on shows, people pay attention to what you're saying.
So
but,
I thought you were saying that what was...
No, it's not good.
It's the least confident. I got it confused. The way they had it, the high rating for least confidence. Now I got it.
Indeed. The survey involved more than 3,100 people, but 6 states were not included because they didn't get enough responses. Alaska, Montana, both Dakotas, Vermont, and Wyoming. Yeah, I can't see those people in the states going, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
We've got our own deal going. Of course, it does matter what we're doing when we're naked, I suppose. Most people are totally fine with having sex with the lights off. The comfort level with that is about 8.6 out of 10. Being naked at home alone was also high, along with changing in front of a partner, having sex with the lights on. On the flip side, most people would not be cool with being fully naked on a beach. The comfort level with that is just 2.7 out of 10. Being naked in a sauna is also low, along with changing in a locker room, skinny dipping, being partially nude on a beach and changing in front of friends. The confidence of being naked at the doctor's office is middle of the road, 5. Well, if you have to be naked at the doctor's office, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but it's not exactly my most confident is sitting in those little like paper robes, those like plasticky things, and like I mean, I am not gonna like do lunges casually while I'm waiting.
No, I could see that. The confidence of being naked at a doctor's office is in the middle of the road at 5 out of 10, as is having sex in front of a pet.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Really?
I had an ex. Well, we were only dating. I wouldn't even call us boyfriend and girlfriend. And he would not tell his dog to get out of the room when we'd have sex. And I couldn't do it. Like, I remember going to, like, one of those generic, like, brunches with one of, like, 3 of my girlfriends and them telling them that they're like, that's disgusting. I was like, thank you. I thought it was. It was disgusting. Your dog cannot be in the room. They have to be.
Get out.
You have to formally say, it is time. Go outside.
I don't know if you'd put up with that.
You guys have to just put him in the corner?
Yeah, we're going to have to do something with it because I don't think he could put up with it. It's like, what are you doing over there?
Oh, yeah, totally. He would be so concerned for Catherine.
Well, that's exactly right. He's like, what are you doing to her?
Stop.
Yeah, he would. No, you're right. He would be a pain in the ass with that. But what are you going to do? Such is life.
Especially there's dogs that have like more human-y eyes. Have you ever seen dogs that have like a little bit? You go, those are human eyes for sure.
Really?
Yes.
Eek. Isn't that kind of scary?
It is. My sister has a dog named Vito, and that dog has the most human eyes I've ever seen. Like, I will not change in front of Vito. I will, like, won't show him my social security card. Like, that dog has human eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of dog is it?
It's an Italian truffle dog.
Oh, that's why his name is Vito.
His name is, it stands for Danny DeVito, and they call him Vito.
Oh, it stands for Danny DeVito. Okay. Do they know what veto means?
Mm-mm.
No, tell them to check. It's a good word, actually.
Okay.
It's a very, very good word. As a matter, oh, Jesus. Okay, we have to close on this one because this is disgusting to me. Maybe you guys like it. I don't know. These people do. 2/3 of Americans could eat just sandwiches for a full week and be perfectly happy. I suppose I could for a week.
Hell yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Oh, heck yeah.
Here are a few more stats on our sandwich preferences. Number 1, ham and turkey dominated as our favorite sandwich meats. I like them all.
Turkey's my jam.
Turkey's really good.
Love turkey.
It is good. Wheat, sourdough, and multigrain are our top choices for bread, and whatever it is, 58% prefer toasted. Yeah, toasted bread is good.
It's so good.
It's true. Our favorite cheese to use is cheddar, followed by Swiss, American, pepper jack, and provolone. Our favorite veggies to toss in a sandwich are tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, lettuce, and pickles. I'm not a big onion guy. You like onion?
I do, and you're very clutch on. I've talked to you and Alex about this. You want them so small. You don't want to take a bite of an onion.
Yeah, I don't like onions. I don't. Never have. People overuse them, I think, in a lot of recipes.
And Alex has said this to me as well. Like the garlic that she wants, like watching her husband cut garlic, she gets irate because it's too big. She wants it like a sliver.
Right. Mm-hmm. I understand that. The condiments that got the most votes would be ketchup, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, honey, mustard, and regular mustard. I'm not a big mayonnaise guy, but the other ones are fine. I'm not a big sauce guy, actually.
I don't know why, but like ketchup is not in my realm.
No.
Of sandwich things. Like I would never put out, if I like was putting out like a buffet of anyone kind of put together their own sandwiches, I would not think to put out ketchup.
You know, it's funny, I used to get bitched at because all of my friends would put ketchup on their hot dog and I would put mustard on it.
Well, I get that for a hot dog, but are we saying a hot dog is we're not saying that that's a sandwich.
No, okay. But I mean, just, why do you care if I put mustard on my hot dog?
See,
who cares?
You like barbecue sauce, but you don't like ketchup.
That's correct.
Would you ever put barbecue sauce on a hot dog?
Never thought of that. Maybe.
That might be good.
That might be really good.
I mean, who would have thought chili would work? But putting chili on a hot dog? Oof.
It's great and everything, but like, if we're trying to act like that's a casual eat at a game, you need like a plate for that situation.
Oh yeah, no, that's a delicacy you have at the house. You don't get that at Target Field.
But people do like have those on the go, like a Chicago dog with all the things, and I go, I don't know how you are thriving in life if that's a casual eat for you.
Where's the best place to buy a hot dog out on the road?
That's a great question.
Quick Trip's got good dogs.
Okay.
Really?
If we're going gas station.
I would never buy a hot dog at a gas station.
Yeah. There's two places in Minneapolis that sell like the straight up original Chicago dog, and I think they might be actually called Chicago Dog. And I know there's one that's kind of in South Minneapolis, kind of by the light rail off of 55. I'm spacing on the name of it right now, but oh man, it's got the big giant pieces of like tomato and it's delicious.
I would love throwing a hot dog on a grill is something I'm going to have to do this week. That's just so good.
Chicago dogs are great. All that stuff they piled to the ceiling, for God's sake, but they're good.
But I would, even just right now, if we had a hot dog on a grill, simple, ketchup and mustard, live my life, yes.
The one I'm thinking of is Chicago's Taste Authority.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's right off of Highway 55, and I think it's like 42nd Street. 42nd and 55.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm trying to... 42nd and 55.
55. It's kind of by Lake Hiawatha. There's if you're taking 55, kind of by the VA. If you're going north, it's just north of Minnehaha Falls. There's a Holiday gas station over that way.
Oh, I was thinking of a different 55. I was thinking of one that's in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that is Highway 55, Minneapolis. Yeah, but the 50. You're thinking of the one on the other side of town. That's on the north side. This is on the south side, kind of by the VA.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah. So 42nd. I should have said 42nd South. on the south side of town.
Because I was going, where the hell would that even
Yeah, it's kind of,
be?
it's not too far. It's just a little north of the VA.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're
See,
talking
and
about.
I should reward myself every time I have to go to the VA to go get a hot dog. That sounds amazing.
You should.